Knew. Law enforcement knew. They knew ever since February 10th, 2026. What am I talking about? Let's get into it.
Bullhorn Betty rocks.
So grab your beverage, grab yourself something to snack on, get comfy, and let's chat about Nancy Guthrie.
Coffee steaming, files on the table. We clocking early, hunt what's unstable. Bullhorn Betty on the curb, voice raised. Flip-flop queen with the homemade phrase. Notebook thick, got the screenshots flag. Names in red ink, every rumor, every tag. Late night live stream, screen glow on her face. Truth in her throat, got a lawman's pace. She don't blink when the threats roll through. Come see me, she says, if you think that's cute. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. We hunt bad guys till the sun comes up. From the front porch steps to the courthouse rug. We fighting for the ones that they gave up. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. Sip that truth from a styrofoam cup. From the quiet streets to the madhouse buzz. We ain't letting go till we get that justice. Insane Asylum, that's our crew nickname. Laugh so loud while we track these names. Whiteboard wild with the webs we spin. Pen to pen, see the pattern sink in. Turmo shaking when the case goes cold. We stir it back up, won't do what we're told. Doorstep question, side eye stare. Where were you that night? We hanging right there. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. We hunt bad guys till the sun comes up. From the front porch steps to the courthouse rug. We fighting for the ones that they gave up. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. Sip that truth from a styrofoam cup. From the quiet streets to the madhouse buzz. We ain't letting go till we get that justice. This for the faces on the milk cart labels. This for the families praying at tables. This for the names that the news won't say. We say them out loud every single day. Every day. If you're running in the dark, better feel that fear. Betty got a bullhorn right in your ear. Coffee club crazy, but we think so clear. One small town, whole world gonna hear. Hey! Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. We hunt bad guys till the sun comes up. From the front porch steps to the courthouse rug. We fighting for the ones that they gave up. Bullhorn Betty in the coffee club. Sip that truth from a styrofoam cup. From the quiet streets to the madhouse buzz. We ain't letting go till we get questions.
Just thought we would put that through there. We got buttons to push. We got buttons to push. I'm Bullhorn Betty. We're covering the case of Miss Nancy Guthrie. And we've been covering the case related to the suspect and what law enforcement knew related to this case and when they knew it. And in this case where it's extended past 6 months, they've wasted a lot of time on ransom notes and other things related to this case. You're kind of looking at this case and now that we're seeing some things and we're starting to get our marbles together and we're getting the domino pieces set up and, you know, we're looking at this case and we're realizing, okay, what do we have here? Well, just recently, we started looking into the aspect of the second person, really, really honing in on some areas of second persons because people have been sending me stuff. Okay, I will tell you over the last 6 months, people have sent me a lot of stuff to indicate there's a second person. There's nothing there that I could say definitively identified a second person, period. I've looked at all of it. I know that they circled this, but I have to take other things into consideration. People blow things up and they're novice. They don't understand that, you know, it's not just about trying to find an image and you got to make sure that it's because when you have shadows can develop even things that look like faces or hands or things like that by shadows. And so what defines those things, you have to look at things that you know are measured and distance and stuff like that to find out if it's really a shadow or if it's an image, because sometimes you can blow an image up so large that you see literally shadows in a single pixel and you think it's a human being. So people don't understand those things, and I understand that. And so we always look at everything that comes in here, but nothing that I've seen ever identified the second person definitively. Like, I could not say, okay, I see a shadow here, I see someone right here, right? I could not definitively say that. Yeah, people sent me shadows and what appeared to be maybe somebody, and even those were really grainy, and you couldn't tell distance, you couldn't tell size, you couldn't tell if the size matched. Like, if it was standing near the car, I had one where somebody's saying it's right there, right next to the car, and it's like, then when you look at it, like, the person's this big to a bumper like this, and it's like, okay, no, that's not a person. And those are things that people aren't paying attention to when they're sending this stuff out. So I was looking at a lot of stuff, and I just haven't found anything. Yes, I found things that are convincing a little bit, so don't misunderstand that, but they weren't definitive, right? We didn't definitively define that there's a second person out there. It was still speculative. It was not factual. I think now we are factual. And so when we identify something, for example, this unknown light source, and we identify as it being another person, there's no other way that this unidentified light source could move from up to down when we see an assailant in both of his hands and there's something moving. There's only way something could be moving is if somebody is moving it. Okay? The door was closed. We could literally see the doorknobs and the deadbolt right there under the camera where all of this is happening, where the light is coming down. We're going to review that again because I want everybody on the same page, and I know that you guys have seen this. But we're going to still keep going over it because it's very, very important to this case and very, very important to the second person. But law enforcement knew. They cut. We did not know this at the time. We just found this out in the last week. When we go back to the 2 videos on the FBI, it cuts it off right at a specific spot. And now that we've identified the second person at that front door, not anywhere else, 2 assailants at the front door, and still that front door not being processed properly, I'm angry. I'm furious. Furious. We've had some indicators that there may have been a second person. Again, nothing definitive. Because the FBI, because Chris Nanos, the criminal sheriff from Pima County, because they cut the video when they cut the video, we now know that they knew there was a second suspect on February 10th. On February 10th. Okay? We knew that there was a subject at that front door now. There's no doubt in my mind that there is a second subject at that property, out of a vehicle, moving around the property with the porch guy. There is no doubt in my mind. The man is not an octopus and does not have 3 arms. Okay? So there's no way a light source can be moving when we can clearly see which hand he's using and which hand he's not. So again, we're coming back to why did law enforcement... Now let's look at these factors. We have a lady that's been ripped out of her bed in the middle of the night by a masked gunman in the wee morning hours of February 1st, okay? That's what we learned on February 10th. We knew something wasn't right, but now we have this whole front area, the whole front of this house, not properly forensically investigated until weeks later. They came back, popped up a tent. They realized how important this area was. They didn't want us seeing what they were doing out there. But whenever the law enforcement came to us and gave us details about this case, factual details about this case, we're looking for a lone assailant. We're looking for a lone assailant, and we're looking for an alive victim. A lone assailant and an alive victim. And what we have here is a dead victim and multiple assailants. Now, if you're looking for somebody or you're reaching out to the public for help to find somebody, don't you think the detail of a second person is going to be paramount to finding the first person? Because somebody would say, oh, well, you know what? If it was so-and-so, they would be with so-and-so. And since there's only one suspect, it can't be so-and-so. So they don't even call the lead in. Why? Why don't they call the lead in? They don't call the lead in because it wasn't two people. It wasn't multiple people. It was only one assailant that went into her house, most likely a botched burglary. That's what they've been telling us. That's what they told us at the very beginning when we were all scratching our heads saying, like, this doesn't look like any type of burglary. And then they bounced to the ransom notes. Now it's a ransom for hire or a ransom for, cryptocurrency. And then we started hearing about these wrench attacks, which, again, nobody can ever identify how the hell this even matched a wrench attack, even if it was a ransom for cryptocurrency. That doesn't define the wrench attack. The wrench attack typically means that somebody already has cryptocurrency and they're going in there to get their wallet. And they're going to torture them until they get their wallet. So, I still don't even understand how this well-versed, crypto investigative firm said that this was, a wrench attack. That didn't age well. That didn't look good for them, right? If they were trying to be out there and get their advertisement, well, now they look like shit in front of America. They clearly didn't know what the hell they were talking about. So how could we take them seriously? I think it was poor advertisement. Poor advertisement. But what makes me so angry is that law enforcement knew and willfully deceived the public about it. And we have been looking for a single assailant. Many of us have speculated that it might be multiple people, but people out there in the streets, people out there looking for this guy, boots on the ground, they're looking for a single man. They're not looking for somebody that's working in concert with other people. In reality, they're not, because factually, them looking for a secondary person at this juncture is a waste of time. And why do I say that? Because there's been no evidence to support a secondary person. And law enforcement has been adamant. Just recently, as we were approaching the 6-month mark for Miss Nancy Guthrie, Chris Nanos went on this tirade of interviews with these journalists that he can control their speech. He wouldn't go on it. Won't go on Ashley Banfield, won't speak to Brian Enton, won't speak to anybody that's reporting the real news, that's unmanipulated real news. He only speaks to the people that are willing to write favorably about him because he's so freaking corrupted. He's so freaking corrupted. I can't stand Chris Nanos. I think he's a piece of shit. But you know what? We just had a terrible upset in our county. The establishment on the Democrat and the Republican parties, they don't give a crap about the regular people. They don't. And I'm going to tell you guys all this. It's time for us people that are grassroots. We need to start getting into those GOPs and DNCs. You guys need to start stepping up to the plate and getting a chair in your local DNC and GOPs. We've got to take this country back. They're going to keep robbing us blind. We got to do our part, and we're not doing our part. So I hope people start stepping up and getting involved in their actual government. The political parties, the GOP and the DNC. We need activists. We need conservative people in both sides of those places. We have a good chance. We got a good chance in about 4 more years, but we need to stack our DNCs and our GOPs throughout the United States of America. We've got to, if we're going to have any chance. So I hope people start refocusing and start re-strategizing. But they knew. And they withheld this. Don't you think? How many people in my chat believe it's important to have the factual information, like especially when we're dealing with assailants? How many assailants are we looking for? Don't you think that it's an important information for the public to know that there's 2 people at this property? How many believe that they believe that Chris Nanos should have let us know that they knew that there were 2 people at this property? Raise your hand or put a 1 in the chat that you believe he should have told the public. Put a 2 in the chat if you think that this goes to the integrity of the investigation and should have been held to the chest. I'd like to see what the public, we the people feel about this topic. Thank you. Yeah. We got a lot of 1s. it's important. I agree with my audience in this. I think that, us looking for one person or two people or more. I mean, are we going to find a third person that they lied to us about? Annie and Tommaso, mail not going to their house. Interesting. They got their mail forwarded. I always have a problem when family starts taking off. I can't deal with the pressure. What? All these, we got thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that are still looking for their loved ones across this country, and not one of them have had to leave the country to give themselves a break from the pressure, because they don't stop to worry about the pressure. They just keep going. So I don't understand that. But let's prove. And now people are going to be like, well, Betty, how do you know they knew? What if they didn't know? They knew. You know how I know they knew? Guess what the first indicator? I'm gonna put this out to my chat. We'll let you guys play trivia. What do you think? What do you think the evidence I have to prove that they knew? Does anybody know? Does anybody know that we can prove that they knew that there was a second person out there? What evidence do we have that's factual evidence from law enforcement that can prove that they knew about the secondary person and willfully and intentionally misled the public? Hey guys. Miss Robin, yes, I think 3, 2 in the house and a driver. It is kind of, remember Keith? Remember Keith, our friend Keith? From, where was he from? Pennsylvania? No, Chicago. Keith from Chicago. Remember Keith? I remember Keith. Keith came on here. I don't think he likes Betty. I don't know. He did like our conversations, but he disappeared somehow. Maybe because we weren't, engaging in that. We didn't have any evidence. You guys know me. We move as the case moves. If we find legitimate, like whenever I went out to Sebastian Rogers' case, and I legitimately worked that case and investigated it from a journalistic aspect and did the drives, especially to his work site and Horn Lake, Mississippi, and all these other things. That's when I determined definitively. I mean, I had my suspicions that the mom and stepdad were somehow involved, but when I went out there, I knew for a fact after I did what I did, after I challenged all these different aspects of the case, and we never had to talk to anybody. We just moved from point A to point B to point C to point D and just started timing it and making sure that all the numbers jived and what those numbers meant and how we could get here and there. And we traveled different angles to get there. We had a lot of distractions, people that we thought were on the side, like Terry Lynn. What a disappointment that lady was. What a crackpot she is. But, with Chris and Katie having an open relationship, I'm pretty sure she was S and an F and CP. And if you don't know what S and F means, you haven't been on the Bullhorn Betty channel. I can tell you the S and the F rhyme, okay? The S and the F rhyme. So they've been, it seems like, everything's been kind of, a lot of information has been broke. If you guys don't know, we have breaking news information on Sebastian Rogers. And I'm going to be going over some of that information this afternoon. We're going to have a full live on Sebastian Rogers and the information that Elevated Truth has put out there. Now, I'm very, very curious why he keeps putting stuff out there and then removing the video. I don't like that. That seems very deceptive to me from somebody that says they're about elevated truth, right? And I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way. I'm just trying to show how that seems a little it seems to be double talk. So I would assume that if he went on his platform and stood on his words, just like me, I keep the videos up, all the stuff that I've fouled up, all the mistakes I've made publicly. I never went out there and took them down or anything like that. You can search everything on this channel. The only things that are on, and even anything that I had on here, unless that these hate channels, which we've got major control over this because we've got the legal department involved, it's a little more difficult to take my channel, but at once upon a time, I had to move stuff over to membership so people couldn't keep, hit my channel. They were doing illegal stuff. They were committing federal crimes. And we had evidence of these federal crimes that they were committing. Now, granted, they are not like major federal crimes, but they're still federal crimes nonetheless. I mean, I'm not going to break federal law, but apparently some of these people, because they're criminals on these platforms, they don't mind breaking federal law. So, like right now, the crap that Queen Bee's going through, I don't like that lady. Okay, I wish her the worst of the worst. I don't really care. I'm not going to cry if she was on fire. I wouldn't piss to put her out. Okay, but what they're doing to her channels is still a crime. It's still illegal, and they may be very vindictive and stuff like that, but you guys know me. You do the right thing all the time, not just some of the time. And I'm sorry, I don't like breaking the law. And how can you be on here saying you're part of the true crime genre while you're breaking the law week after week? Okay, you're not true crime. You're a criminal. Okay, that's plain and simple. If you break the law and you knowingly break the law, you are a criminal. I'm not saying you're a violent criminal, but you are breaking the law. You're willfully and maliciously and intentionally breaking the law. And you know you're breaking the law. So I'm just saying. Before we get started on a whole lot to do here, I do want to take a break just to promote our Substack. I threw out a new article today. It is free to everyone. I've been alternating between free articles and paid articles on the Substack, so all of you guys get a little something something. We obviously would like to have some financial support on the Substack channel over time. I think we will earn this support on the Substack channel once you guys get used to the commentary and the articles and stuff like that. This is a way that we're raising money, as many of you know. I'm in a federal lawsuit, but more importantly, it's not just a federal lawsuit. There's 3 different lawsuits going on in Tennessee right now with me, okay? And the federal lawsuit is just the newest lawsuit. We have the federal lawsuit that the county, our Sumner County is forcing me to resolve my my appellate suit before they're asking the courts for a stay of our federal suit for me to resolve my appellate case. And so we weren't prepared to argue the appellate case just yet. We're winding down the clock, but at the end of the day, the appellate issue has to be brought up. We have appeals. They're taking forever to get through the appeals. I don't know if we're dragging the clock or they're dragging the clock, but it is taking forever to have it foreseen before the appeals. But now they're going to try to start delaying the federal case, which is in my opinion, very strong against Sumner County. So we're having to pony up $12,000 to resolve the appellate issue. And we've already spent thousands of dollars toward the appellate issue already. But this is, I think, the final, going in there and fighting the appeals. I think we've already been approved for the appeals, which what the prior money was for, was to get us to the appeal, to appeal it. And we were successful on that. And we've been sitting in the appeals, and we haven't really been doing a whole lot of fundraisers and stuff while we sat in appeal, because nothing was being added up. Like I had a few filing fees, but there was no attorney expenses. The case was just kind of standstill. So now it's going to be heating back up because we now have to push the case through. So that's kind of where we're at. So if you guys would like to help out with those funds, we're at a dollar will do. We are raising some funds on here. It's raising a little bit slow, but we do have a good starting $660 so far toward our $5,000. Now, this is not the only place. This is where I'd like all the funds to go so we can see if we're getting to our goal. But I am receiving some things, as many of you know, because you're sending them to me through Cash App, PayPal, and there's like the couple dollars to $5, $10, $20 stuff. So we appreciate those as well. And those are being applied. And I want to let you know those are being applied to our legal funds over and above this goal. So I do appreciate those things as well. But some people don't want to just throw money at it. They want something. And Sonia has stepped up to the plate with some shirts. So if you guys would like to support our legal expenses, we have several shirts that are specific for fundraiser purposes, and it's these shirts right here. Stand with Betty type of shirts. Don't silence the truth. Oops, what the heck happened? I thought we were. There we go. And here's some more so you guys get to see what the shirts look like. Please reach out to Sonia if you guys would like, and here's your designs that you guys can use. But please reach out to Sonia if you guys would like a shirt to help support for our legal expenses. I do greatly appreciate everything that everybody has done for this channel, but we just need a little bit of help and a little bit of effort. We have covered the majority of the expenses for this case. You know, we've had a lot of help, don't get me wrong, but me personally has paid almost 60% of all of our legal expenses on this, and it's been very difficult for me to do that, but we need to get through this, and we all know what's on the line for this. So any help that you guys can get, I would greatly appreciate it. So we'll just leave it at that. Getting back to Miss Nancy Guthrie, we're going to go ahead with this article, and we're going to start diving into our receipts, folks. Our receipts. I don't really care for this right here, but it's important.
What do we know about these human remains that were found by authorities, and how are they so sure that they were not Nancy Guthrie's?
Well, they're going to test them to make sure, but they were found in a location that may be near to where Nancy Guthrie lived, Ashen. But the initial inspection of them indicates...
Well, thank you, Jolene. Melanie gifted a Bullhorn Betty membership. Jolene received that Bullhorn Betty membership. Thank you, Melanie. Oops. Because I'm a love machine. Ow! Ow, ow, ow. Oh, Mr. Quinn, it's nice to see you. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to this crazy family we call the Coffee Club, i.e. the Insane Asylum. Grab your straight jacket and your padded room and welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, guys. Welcome.
Indicated that they had been there longer than Nancy Guthrie has been missing. So the early suspicion is these remains that were found have nothing to do with the missing mother of Today host Savannah Guthrie.
Yeah, Aaron, just give us a refresher on this case, because it seems like it's actually been a while. When did Nancy Guthrie actually go missing, and how long has this investigation been playing out?
Now, we know most of those answers, so let me just get back. I think where are we? We're at 44, so let's go about 15 seconds. There we go. Oh, thank you. Carol, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. We appreciate all that you do. Thank you. I unfollowed Juice because he doesn't research. I will miss him. I debated with him a lot. Aw. Oh, no. We do a lot of research over here. I can tell you that. But I will also tell you, show some grace, because there's a lot of things that do get missed. And there's a lot of trolls, especially when you're a new person coming out, which all of them are. As you guys see, they're trolled heavily. I don't know why they do that. I mean, I guess more seasoned people, we deal with it a little bit differently. Me, if people troll me, I take so much and then I just start suing people. I don't have the time to deal with the bullshit on these. I don't have time to play these stupid games, right? We've got too many bigger fish to fry. I'm a very busy lady, okay? It's not like this is the only job I have. I'm a political activist. I work all over the state of Florida, all over the country. Locally, we've had a major upset yesterday, so it's just a lot. It's a lot. But I get trolled somewhat now, but you got to understand, I got about 2,000 troll accounts that are blocked for my 5 years on these platforms. You know what I'm saying? 2 years of blocked. 2 years. 2 years of blocked. Why isn't this coming up? Oh, is it? Why isn't my... What the hey? My live chat? I thought the live chat was on. Is it not on? Huh. I thought we had the live chat on during intro. I'm losing my shit. Anyways, let's just keep going. I'm telling you, I thought the live chat was on. I just had to plug it in. Am I losing my stuff?
Initially, the suspicion was she may have been like just any other elderly person who may have walked away or gotten confused. But within a couple of days, it became clear to the Pima County Sheriff.
Within a couple of days. No, it didn't. It was it's quicker than that. I mean, they knew we had a crime scene by February 2nd. So it wasn't a couple days after that, but it was about 20 or 30 hours by the time we got the determination that she was not just an elderly lady that wandered off from her home. But by that time, they had already tanked the case. They already lost their first 48 being dumbasses. I don't know what else to say. I'm not going to sit here and be ultra professional like Brian Enten. Well, it was the words that they use. Well, we think it was a little deceptive that they didn't know. He lied. Okay, why do you tone it down? That's what people want, real words. We're sick of the toning down. This case doesn't need to be toned down. It's been toned down enough. If anything, this case needs to be heated up.
Sheriff's Department and the FBI, which was brought in, that Nancy Guthrie had been abducted from her home, and there are no suspects. There is an image from her doorbell camera of a masked man with a gun and seeming to try and tamper with
a full backpack. Who the heck? How can it be a botched burglary with a full backpack? Like who goes to houses to plant stuff around the house? Nobody goes to rob a house with a full backpack. That backpack, they were intending to pull this lady up out this house. The question is why? And why in the world were we deceived by law enforcement about two people? Two people being on this scene. We're going to go over it, guys. I know we've already gone over it for 2 solid days, but this is important because law enforcement knew we had 2 people on February 10th. Okay? This is not a new revelation for them. It's a new revelation for us. Big difference. Big difference. So why were we deceived? That's the question we all need to ask ourselves. What purpose would they have to hide this detail from the public? This is an important detail that would help us find these people. But they have given us so little information. It begs to question, are they really wanting the public's help to solve this case, or are they just wanting it to go away? And I think that that's the problem with a lot of people out there. They're asking those same questions because I think we're all kind of getting this notion that it seems like law enforcement is playing all of us for a fool. How can we participate in how can they come to the public and ask for help when they don't really want help? Why not just do exactly what Eric Craddock did and just don't tell the whole world to go fuck themselves? That we're not worth knowing anything about a 15-year-old boy. And he's not going to talk about it and he's not going to investigate it. He's just going to throw it in a file and let his friends walk. Why not just do that, Chris? Excuse my language, by the way. Sonia covering her ears. I can see it. I can already see Tony in the back of my head smacking my head.
with her camera. He's the suspect that everyone is looking for, but so far there are no signs of him.
And we're seeing...
What day is it? What day is it? It's hump day! I really thought I could see a different backpack straps. Like he had an empty one and a full one, in my opinion. It wasn't like that. I did not see any other backpack. And we saw his full frontal. We're going to go through all of it again. So Riley Rue, stay here. Just stay here, hun. She was taken on my birthday. Oh, my. Oh, my. Well, we now know that your birthday's February 1st. Happy belated birthday. But that's awful. It was mentioned by Drunken Turkey that Nanos may have had Alex 857 and Juice arrested, removed from Nancy because the perp may be a sadist reliving the crime and harassing the family through the live feeds. Huh. Interesting. But you know what? All of the reports that we read, I disagree with that, Sam. I am just a little bit, because we're not immune or ignorant to the reports that were coming in. There was a lot of public records that was released on these platforms of who actually called, and we even had statements from Savannah, verbatim statements from Savannah put in the reports, and not one time did she say she's being harassed by their content. Just Alec being in front of the house was bothersome for her enough that she wanted him arrested, and Chris Nanos went and arrested him. That's conspiracy to me. That's conspiracy. Savannah, as well as Pima County, as well as NBC, should be in a lawsuit for violation of Alec's constitutional and civil rights. Alex should sue Savannah Guthrie as well as NBC, in addition to Pima County in Arizona. I'm sorry, he should.
A ton of search interest into the medications that Nancy Guthrie was taking. What do we know about those, and how do they factor into this case?
She needed the medication to survive. She took it daily, heart-related medication, and that's why the initial suspicion was that she was no longer alive, and in part that comes from two different notes that the Pima County Sheriff's Department has now released that were sent to local media and on then to the family. One of the notes demanded a crypto ransom, but the second note said that the kidnappers did not realize how severely sick Nancy Guthrie was, or that she needed this kind of medication for her survival, and that she had died shortly after she had been taken, was buried in nature, and the kidnappers said in the note they were sorry.
And again, this comes up to the ransom notes. How many ransom notes were there? I believe there were at least 6. I mean, just of the first 1 and 2. Okay. I want to let you know, I believe there was a lot more. It sounds like 5, 6, 7 people have been arrested for extortion related to the Nancy Guthrie case. And we only knew about one, Derek Colella. All the other ones were suppressed. I don't know why their names or their charges were suppressed, or where they came from. Were they out of the country? Were they in the state of, the United States of America? Were they from Mexico or Canada? I have a lot of questions related to that. Cynthia, thank you for the MVP. Appreciate you. Woo-hoo-hoo. BHB, flocking cuss bucket. Thank you. We do have cuss buckets around here. Sonia started, we were just talking about this because Sonia started out with this little glass jar. I've got it right up there, and it says the swear jar, and she's got it where she's got swear, and she's got all the expletives, and she's got the cross through it. And then we went to the 2-year milestone for Sebastian Rogers' case. And we're in a church, and she brings this 5-gallon cuss bucket in a church, okay? And the first thing out of my mouth, God forgive me, was holy shit. And I'm like, I'm sitting in a church. Preacher, right there. Like, right there. And she brings me, she comes in the church with this 5-gallon bucket with a lid. You cannot make this stuff up. You could not make this stuff up. And so I'm like, so she actually sent a picture to, anyways, there was a picture sent, and I was teasing her. I'm like, oh, that's right. That's when you brought the cuss bucket in. And I said, holy shit, right there in front of God and everybody. And she goes, well, that's where you're supposed to say it. I'm just saying. Where's my slap button? Where's my slap button? Okay. That's for you, Sonia. Along with a kiss. Slap the heck out of you. And then give you a kiss. We're anti-DV over here on this channel. I just want to remind everybody that we do not believe in domestic violence. Okay? Oh, dear goodness. Oh, dear goodness. So I want to get back to this DNA, but first let's get to the issue at hand. Where's my photo? I got all of these out of there it is. All right, guys. So we're going to go over this a little bit more because I think this is important. We found out that, and this is not the proof. This is not the receipts. I want to be very clear that this
it as a flashlight.
I want to make sure that you guys know that this that I'm about to show you is not my receipts. Okay, this is not my receipts that Chris Nanos or the FBI knew. Okay, I failed to do this earlier. Charles Brewer, I'm not sure who he is. I've never met him before, but Brew Crew Beyond 5-0, probably Beyond 50. I would assume that's what that means. I just want to give him a shout out. It looks like he's got Judge Brewer up in the corner of it looks like he might have been a judge at one time. I see a photo of him in a uniform. So it looks like he might have been a judge and a sheriff or deputy or cop of some sort, some law enforcement agent. I can barely read it looks like he was part of the sheriff's department. If I could look at his thumbnail behind him, it looks like these are some things that explain who he is and what he does. So I didn't give him the credit previously, and I didn't throw his show down in our chat in case you wanted to watch the whole thing. We're not showing the whole thing. Obviously, we're keeping this very, very, very narrowly tailored here because there's just one little specific area of this whole video. This whole video is about 23 minutes, and our section is about 15 seconds, okay? And it's just his explanation of this, and this is something, again, that Lisa B. always sent to me, and I reviewed it, and when I reviewed it, I'm like, I did think, in all honesty, I did think it was the strap going into the show, but then I thought, oh my gosh, let's stop and pause and see if it is the strap when people started coming up with the strap, and then people are like, no, it's not the strap, and so we went back, and then I looked at him like, holy crap, it isn't the strap. In my opinion, it's bigger than we all know, but at the end of the day, someone's loved one is missing. Thank you, Betty, for all you do and keeping it real. Thank you, yo mama, yo. Yo mama, yo. I would be fired with the cuss bucket. I got a potty mouth. I do. I try. You know, that's probably why I'm not made for mainstream. I don't know if I could do it. Like when I'm interviewing people, I'm very highly professional. You know, I dress to impress. I ask the questions, even if it's somebody that I believe could murder a kid. I keep it very professional. I don't get very accusatory. I think the questions speak for themselves and how the answers speak for themselves. And if you do a proper interview, you allow them to speak for themselves, and they're going to show their own cards. So I don't have I don't go into any interview saying I need to do an aha moment, right? We do ask, open-ended questions, and sometimes yes and no questions to constrain the to keep things controlled. But I think that Let's stop there. Let's stop there. Let's get back. Anyways, Charles Brewer, I just want to say this last thing. Charles Brewer's the one that obviously found this and presented it to us in a situation where we could catch on and see that it is not that it is a secondary person. He did not say it's a secondary person. Bullhorn Betty is saying it's a secondary person. Bullhorn Betty is saying it's a secondary person because there's no other way to explain a movement of a light when you can clearly see that somebody else's hands are not moving the light. Okay, I'm not a dummy here. Okay, 1 + 1 for me equals 2, and I absolutely know that a light source just doesn't pop out of a house, okay, or out of a wall and start moving. So clearly there's somebody there moving and providing a light source. So why?
I'm certainly not identifying it as a selfie light.
I am calling it exactly what I believe that we can safely call it, and that is an unexplained light source. Now watch. Okay.
So let's just go over this just in case we do have some newbies in the chat. You guys see his body. Here's his body. You see the straps. Okay. He is working with his, which hand? Left hand. So this foliage is in his left hand. Okay. That means his right hand is over to the side. Okay. So this right here, this right hand is cut off. This right hand is cut off over here. So now he's using his left hand. We see the straps. So his whole body is over to this side of the screen. Okay? So his whole body's over to this side of the screen. Now, where is the light source coming from? So we see that his one hand has to be here, right? Because he's facing to us. We can't see his shoulder. His shoulder runs off the frame. So one hand has to be here, and here is hand 2. So let's keep going. Okay, we're coming up to it in about 1 second. I just stopped it. In 1 second, you're going to see the light appearing right here. Right here. Now, again, his hand's right here. His body's right here. His other arm and hand is over here. So how can a light be moving right here unless it's somebody else? That's the only explanation. Right there. There it is. See it? See it? It came from up here and moved down here. There it is even more, right there. And people would mistaken it for the strap, but remember, the straps are over here. He did not move, only his hand moved. This is an unidentified light source being moved by another person. Now, we're going to challenge that theory with the FBI's own videos. This video right here, is the proof. This video and this video here are the proof. You want to know why? Because these videos are one. This is one video. This is not two separate videos. What they did is they cut this video here right when the second person is approaching, and then only gave us this guy here. That's why. Now, am I going to be able to prove that to you definitively beyond a reasonable doubt that that's what they did? I think I can. I think I can. So if you guys are in here, we got 536 people in chat right now. Please hit that thumbs up button. Please hit that thumbs up button. I promise you, when you come to this chat, you are going to get some information out of our shows. So we do appreciate all of your support, your hypes, your shares, you clipping important information and putting it out on your channel, putting it out on your other social media profiles and pages. We appreciate that. And please continue to do that. But more importantly, hit that thumbs up button. We have 536 people in here, and that thumbs up button is worth $1 million to me. So give me $1 million with your thumbs up. Go clink. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. So now let's go ahead and watch this video, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. This is one video that they cut, and they cut it for a reason. And I believe they cut it for a reason so they could exclude and deceive the public that there was a secondary person here. What was the purpose of that? I have no idea. I'm confident that they believe they made the right decision on this. I am confident that the rest of us here in America do not believe they made the right decision or the right call on this. So let's go through the receipts for everybody to be proven that they knew a second person was on this property, and they willfully and intentionally misled the public of that information. Not just the Pima County Sheriff. This also goes to the FBI. The FBI also intentionally and willfully deceived us. The FBI of Phoenix. They intentionally and willfully deceived the public when we were trying to find Nancy. We were trying to find her. We were trying to bring her home safe. And the people that complicated this case the most was the people that were supposed to be investigating this case. They caused all these problems. They caused all these delays. All of them. This is one that I'm not just blaming on Pima County, folks. This is one I'm also blaming on the FBI lied to us. Willfully lied to us. So now how are we going to be able to believe the FBI moving forward? We've never had the FBI willfully lie to us about a case before. They usually just don't talk. But they very rarely willfully come out and deceive the public. They deceive the public. How is this supposed to help our perception of the feds when they lied to us? When we rely on them, and every time we turn around, they continue to lie to us. How? Because that's what they did. So let's prove it. Let's prove it here. Let's watch. So we have the assailant. He just come out of nowhere, right? Look where he's looking. Look where he's looking. This is going to prove to be important. And I think that this might prove that we have 3 people on the scene and outside of their car. 3, not 2, but 3. Because, let me just blow this up. Let me put this, I think we need to look at a very specific area of this. We'll adjust it after we're done. Let's do I don't want to cut too much. I think for this, I think we need to cut it down just a little bit and blow it up. I think that's what we need to do. Okay, I think it's important. That might be too much. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes right here. Look at his eyes. Look where they're looking. Isn't it funny where the eyes are looking? The reason why I think it's funny where the eyes are looking is because this is the exact spot that the light came from. Do you guys understand that? Oh, thank you, 2 dozen roses. Let's not forget today is Wednesday. Thank you. Seth Rogers is going to, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers' father is going to be on the interview room. We're all going to be on the interview room tonight. Guys, please, please, please be there and support Seth. We are part of Sebastian's army, and I want you to support Seth. Okay, so now you guys look at this man. Look at where this man is looking. Look at where this man is looking. That's pretty interesting. We paused it right there. And I blew this up because I thought you guys needed to see his eyes. You guys needed to see his eyes. Look at his eyes. Look where he's looking. He's not looking at the door. He's looking over where that light source came from. Looking where that light source came from. So let's keep watching. Okay. So the guy's probably saying, oh my gosh, there's a camera. And he's like, okay, let's go over here and figure out what we're going to do with the camera. He's trying to lift the camera. The camera's not going anywhere. So he's like, okay, let me go over here and get some weeds. Everybody agreed? That's what we're seeing. Now he's going over there. He's going to get some weeds. Let's watch what happens. Can you guys see this? Yeah, you guys can see it perfectly. So he goes over here and he gets some weeds. Now look. Now he's talking to somebody back behind him. So when he first approached here, he's looking over to this side at something, probably another person, because that's where the light source came. But when he picks up this foliage, he pops his neck back, not just once, but twice, as it appears he's speaking to someone. Now he's going to come back up here. Look at that. See, he even went back the second time. And see how it cut? Watch. Watch where it cuts. Watch where this cuts. Watch where this cuts. He goes out there and gets the foliage. And he makes one step back up here and it cuts right there. Boom. Boom. It cuts right there. But look at this. But now this one picks up right at the camera. This one picks up right at the camera. And there's the light source right there. And then there's the light source right there. Oops, let me move it up. There's the light source right there. Right there. Right there. So there's no doubt in my mind. There might be some doubt in your mind. But there is no doubt in my personal mind that law enforcement knew on February 10th there were multiple people involved. Multiple people. And why they would willfully deceive us into thinking that there's only one person and not even really addressing the possibility of a second assailant. You know, it's I gotta say, I don't really appreciate it. I don't think anybody appreciates it. I think this is fairly shocking to most of us. There was a flashlight when you said it cut. It probably was. We need to look at that. We need to look at a lot of stuff because at the end of the day, there are people on this property. It's not a person. Now, I've been very cautious. Excuse me. excuse me, I've been very cautious to only work with facts. Now we've talked about the possibility of multiple assailants, but factually we could never put multiple assailants on this property. Factually, this here, I think, factually puts the people on there. Now we had indicators. We had the walkie-talkie in his pocket. We had the the mixture of DNA. We had, what was the other thing that we had that indicated there may be the back doors being opened? His nonchalantness on the outside of the door. I don't know. We couldn't at the time Keith was coming here. If you're new to my channel, you probably don't know who Keith is, but Keith was a guy from Chicago. He told us about not too much about a story. He's a felon that's changed his life. And he was talking about how these type of cases go, and he has always maintained that he believes that this is a ring, a robbery ring, and he has maintained that there was more than one person on this. And he said that it had to have been a minimum of three or more people at this property. But I couldn't make it fit at the time. We just didn't have enough information. And I can't run stories based on, somebody calling me and saying, this is what I believe happened. We got to have something. We can theorize it, and we did, because we gave him time to talk on the phone. We opened the phone panels before we started having some technical issues with the system and everything. We opened the phone panel. He called in. He stated what he thought was going on with the case and how he thought it was, but at the time we had no evidence to carry that theory forward more than just establishing it as a theory. Now we're starting to really get some undisputed factors that indicate, I always saw the head at the foliage. We've always discussed the head turning back, and we at the time, at least for me, I've explained it away as him making sure nobody was coming up the driveway, just kind of looking back to make sure he was still in the clear to go into the house if it was a single assailant. Never, we did talk about him potentially looking back and talking to somebody. If you go back to the earlier, I think it was February 11th on this show. If you go back to our February 11th show, or February 12th, might even have been February 10th, but it was right there in that 3 or 4 day area where this video was released. And you'll hear me talk about the head turning and it looking like he's speaking to somebody behind him. We did identify that early on, but there was nothing else that supported it. And because we couldn't identify any other person, we have to try to find a way to explain that. And the way I was able to find a way to explain that activity, that action, was to say he must have just been looking back to see if somebody was coming, and that could very well possibly, even though we saw his head kind of move a little bit like he's speaking to somebody. So what happened here at this house? And again, we still haven't, I haven't seen a good answer in the chat. Why do you guys think they would withhold multiple assailants to us? I mean, doesn't this change the factor of the case? I just feel like it changes a lot of factors of this case, whether it's a single assailant or a multi-assailant. The good news is now that I'm kind of more convinced that there's multiple assailants on this property at the time of the abduction. I'm kind of going away from the one strong suspicion I had of the sexual assault avenue of this. It's still here. It's just going further on the list. It's going down kind of closer, maybe mid-section of the list or to the bottom of the list. I don't think that theory is really holding as much water today as it once did when we thought we had a single assailant. But I'm convinced that we have evidence, little bit of evidence that indicates there were multiple people on this property that evening. So now when we go back to the press conference, which one is it? I think it's this one. No, it's this one. It's this one at the end. No. Now when we go back to the media release, it really does kind of upset me because once again, they're talking about this male's behavior. Singular. And I want to read this to you guys again. Look at the picture I emailed a while ago. Yeah, I seen that. Definitely more than one. But that was another hazy thing. I mean, yeah, you can see somebody there, but the blowing up of things, I've got to be careful when people blow up images. Because again, as I was saying at the very beginning of the show, sometimes you can blow up images, and even in the shadows, somewhere in the shadows, when the pixels are big enough, you can start seeing stuff. And I've done it myself, so I know that it's possible. You start seeing stuff. But when you compare those pixels to like a legend, something that gives you a size, it doesn't compute. Because like say the leaf next to it is, huge, right? And you're trying to say that this is a face, but it's next to a leaf that's this big in reality, and your pixel and the pixel is showing the leaf this big, and you have a face in it, then you know that that's a shadow, because nobody's face, if you have a leaf this big, the face theoretically is this big in real life. You see what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it. It's hard to explain it. It's hard to convey what I'm trying to say. So that's where I've been hooked up on all of those images that have come to me that have been, zoomed in on. And I remember looking at that. I can't remember. And I was going back to look at the stuff that you sent. Maybe I just need to go back and re-review that. Let me get through this, and then I think maybe, let me just see if I can pull that up. Let me look at that again. Yeah, I see that, but I can't tell where that is. Where is that located? Because what I try to do is I try to replicate the same stuff to confirm where it is and where it's going. So let me put this up for people to see what I'm talking about first. And then I can't tell where this is at on what image this came from and where it is. And this is from Rhythm and Clues and Pretty Little Clues. Let me pull this up here. Let me go on the left side so you guys can see it a little better. There you go. So, but I the problem is that I don't know. Can you send me the photo that this was derived on and circle where it was at on that photo for me? Even not this, blown up, but just the original photo, what it looked like and where this image is on that photo, so that photo, so I can compare height, size, distance, and stuff like that to confirm that this is. I mean, it does look like a person, but I've had things like this, and it was a shadow. It was truly a shadow that made it. We've gone through a lot of images on this channel, so I'm very, very cautious when it comes to not that I think that it's photoshopped. I just understand even people, because I've made mistakes before at, trying to figure out what's behind the scenes. And so now I know to look at the bottom left. It's there. I can't see it though. It's so small. I can't, even with my glasses, I can't see what photo it came from. But I would like to just see the photo. I can't. I saw it. I saw it. You're right. I did see it. It's right behind me. It's right here. Yeah, right here. But I can't even in the photo, I can't see which photo it is for some reason. I don't know why. In my book, if Savannah is refusing help from the FBI because of her political... I don't think she's the one refusing the help. I think it's Pima County. I think that they just know he's not going to give it up, and I just, you know, I don't know. But that right there looks pretty interesting. But if that right there is truly an image, I don't know about you, but that... I don't want to say this out loud. I really don't want to say this out loud. Well, I'm not going to say this out loud. Who do you guys think that looks like? If this truly is a photo, and this truly is another person, one, it looks like they have writing on their shirt. Two, they don't look like they're wearing a mask. Who do you think it is? I believe Nancy was taken because the fact she is Savannah is rich and powerful. Sam, I am. It's hard. I don't want to say it. I tell you what, if Savannah truly would not take a call from the president of the United States that's willing to give her help to find her mother, she's a piece of shit. Okay? Because I would take help from literally anyone that would be willing to help me if my mom or anybody in my family was hurt or needed help. If I was in this situation, I wouldn't turn down anything. And if that is true, I'm disgusted by that. I'm absolutely disgusted by that. How dare you? Don't tell us you've done everything, right? If you can't put your petty bullshit aside for a president that's giving you literally the federal funds, our funds, to help find your frickin' mother, and you're thumbing your nose up at we the people, like I'm like over the. Looks like a guy that stole the van, riding passenger side. What van? What stolen van? We need to find the stolen van. That is absolutely correct. My money and hate. In my opinion, money and hate. Oh, nope. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it either. Sure looks like him. I can't say it. I can't say it. But I'm sorry. If this truly is a person in the background, who does anybody see something familiar here? Oh boy, this is gonna get a little heated up. If I need to find, so yes, please. This is interesting. Pretty Little Clues. This is interesting. This is super. Ooh, I gotta set my alarm. I forgot I'm supposed to call Miss Andrea today. I remembered yesterday and I set my alarm, but I forgot to put it on the books today because I was so freaking tired when I came back yesterday. Oh crap. I didn't mean to do that. Where are we? Okay. There we are. I'm scheduled. I don't know why I remembered that. Jason Voorhees. Who's Jason? Wait, Jason Voorhees. Wait a minute. What? I'm like, who's Jason Voorhees? Wait a minute. I'm like, okay, I recognize that name. Why do I recognize that name? Friday the 13th. Duh. Ding, 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 ding. You got it. Yahtzee. Okay. Like, why do I recognize that name? You guys see the chug when my mind's on one mindset, you know, when I'm on one mindset, I don't really get off of it too much, and it took me a second, but it was only a split second. I'm like, who's Jason Voorhees? And right when I said who's Jason Voorhees and I heard the name Voorhees come out of my mouth, it's like, never mind. You guys saw it. I appreciate it. Thank you, Pretty Little Clues. Yeah, she said it when she sent out the video from Manchester, England. Hey, Mustang Sally. It's nice to see you, love bug. I hope you're doing well. Mr. Dunham. We had a lot of people. We got Mr. Quinn, and it's been a while since I've seen so many people. It's nice to see you guys. I hope you're doing well. When is the picture from? I think it's the photos that were released from the FBI on February 10th. Let me see. I think she said she sent it. Let me see if I can figure out which one it is. This is the photo. Ooh. Guys, it's in the photo with the car. Allegedly, he's like kind of standing by the car. Okay. We gotta work with that photo. And I see which one it is, and I see what frame he's in, where they've caught this frame too. Interesting. What kind of car did Annie and Tommaso have? This could also be an image of Tommaso walking Nancy to the garage when he dropped her off. FBI should... Yeah, but this is an image from the FBI website. This is an image from the video. Not. I don't think it's from the FBI. Let's look at the images from the FBI website. Hold on here. Let's see. FBI. There you are. Let's look at them. Now, I think somebody did a video. Yep, somebody did a video. So this is from the video. This is from the video of him walking back. Let me go ahead and send this. Let's see if we can share this to AirDrop. Okay, let's put this up. There we go. So we're very familiar of the car. We've talked about the car back here. Okay, there's the car. We've talked about this at nauseum on this channel. That the vehicle that nobody wants to talk about, right? So this right here, I can tell just by the image of it and confirming it through going to the FBI website that this came from a video. So somebody went through the video and started researching the video. So that means somebody went in, blew the video up, went frame by frame to see if they could find anything. They found some movement. They started isolating that area, and then it's easier to work with the still image than it is a video. So they must have captured the still image of the area that they wanted. Then they started focusing on that. So according to Pretty Little Clues, this is the image. This was taken off a video. Okay, this is not a still image that was produced by the FBI. This is part of the video. And the video, once he turned around, they were able to frame it. They were able to see it. So right back here, it appears that there might be somebody standing. And according to... Is it this one? No. And according to... Where the heck are you? Pretty Little Clues. No? Where the hell are we? There. And according to Pretty Little Clues, right there next to the vehicle, and actually you can kind of, this almost looks like a tire of some sort. I can't tell what this is, but it looks like there might be the vehicle, a portion of the vehicle kind of shining through here, and he's kind of standing off to the side. That right there, I don't know. That does look like somebody. It looks like a face that we have seen before. A Honda CRV. I thought they had a car. It was a blue Honda CRV, a blue Honda CRV. I thought they had a car that was impounded, not an SUV. Angel, where did you hear that? Where's Angel? I didn't see Angel. The police never gave them back their seized car. No, they finally did give it back, but it was like, wasn't it like 4 months later? Or, I mean, it was a while, and they kept their car longer than anything. And I remember somebody had reached out to me. I'm not going to bring up their name. I'm not going to name drop, but we were having a conversation about something. And if I tell you what the something is, then you'll know who it is. So I can't tell you what the something is. It's not that I forget what the something is, but I was talking about something else. And this person asked me if I believed that Annie and Tommaso were involved. And I said, no, I never did. And this was a law enforcement person. So I'm like, and so when I never heard back from this person, I thought they thought maybe Annie and Tommaso might have a hand in it. I have always been adamant that I didn't believe Annie and Tommaso were involved in this case for a variety of reasons, but if I can mimic this, and I haven't done it yet, but if I can mimic all of this, which I believe I'm going to be able to, so far everything that Pretty Little Clues and Rhythm and Clues have given this channel has been accurate and spot on. So I anticipate these results being accurate and spot on. And if they are accurate and spot on, and this really is what we're seeing, well, that looks like somebody that I've seen before. I'm sorry, it just does. It just does. Why the hell are they hiding? You know? We've got some problems here, folks. We got some problems here. I don't know what to make of this. I don't know what to do with all of this information, but I can tell you it's not sitting right with me at all. Okay? It's just not. We've got some major problems here. One thing I can say without accusing the family of anything, which I haven't accused the family of anything, and it's not because I'm scared to accuse. If anybody has been to this channel, the Bullhorn Betty channel, one thing that we are not scared to do is accuse somebody of something. Okay, I'm not scared to point my finger and say, I think you did this. Okay, has anybody known me to be bashful? Of course not. I've never accused Annie and Tommaso of this because I didn't believe that they had any culpability in it, and everything that came to me from that point forward was never conclusive. I can't say this is conclusive because, let's face it, this is a blurry image, right? And this could be a Mexican cartel member for all we know, right? I mean, he does have the Mexican cartel kind of body to it, but it's hard to look past what appears to be a face we've seen before. Does it not? I mean, trust me, it's a jagged pill for me right now to look at this and say, oh my gosh, this looks pretty stinking significant. Not even church Betty now. When did Annie have her accident? What accident? Am I missing something? Did I forget about something? Rhythm and Pretty always bring the receipts too. Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's Annie's car. It might be. That's what I'm looking for. I sent pictures for someone on your Facebook. Do you have those pictures? Can I see them? What was true crime? Or what was... TC could be true crime, but I forget. You're talking about Tommaso wearing that night. That's a great question. We don't know what they were wearing. None of us do. We don't know what their child was wearing. We don't know what Tommaso was wearing that night. We don't know what Annie was wearing that night. We don't know. But I can tell you that this is going to cause some waves on the streets. I mean, I really do believe this is going to cause waves on the streets because people are still like pitchforking Tommaso to death. And they just are. This is not going to help that drumbeat. So now we have, let's look at the facts with Annie and Tommaso. I mean, it's not looking good for them. So, this right here, if true, which I'm going to say if true, but I believe is true. I'm giving a high credit to Pretty Little Clues and Rhythm and Clues because so far everything they've given me has been pretty accurate. But this appears to be a face we've seen multiple times. This is going to, and people are still, they've got a hard-on for Annie and Tommaso. I mean, since the beginning of this case, I can tell you that it has been fierce toward Annie and Tommaso. Fierce. I can't blame people when I don't think that they've done something. This is kind of putting a little more weight into that something. We now believe that there are multiple people there. I think now we have definitive evidence that there were multiple people there. Well, I think we have definitive evidence that not only were there multiple people there, but there were multiple people there that weren't covered up, that didn't have their faces covered up. Because this right here looks like a full face. It doesn't look like somebody wearing a mask. The person that was standing out of the camera view with the light source, the unknown light source that was moving to help their friend, or try to get that camera off so they could go into the house. Again, why are they going into the house? Why are they breaking the camera at the front door when it appears that they went through, where they broke into the house through the back door? Does anybody, you know what I'm saying? Sonia, and the real me, can you let Betty know that I emailed her a video that shows they edited the video? Who's they? Law enforcement? I was doing yard work. Can someone give me initials? Who's Betty thinking this is, please? Well, this right here, in all fairness, this is the first time that I've ever thought that something looked like Tommaso. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it, to me, looks like Tommaso. And I'm not saying that it is. I want to be very, very clear, because this is so blurry. I can also see a drug cartel here, right? So, or cartel member. I mean, it's so hazy. Could it be a kingpin guy? Yeah, it could be. But I do believe, so if you guys are just coming into the show, this is what we've been talking about for the last couple days. We've really been trying to break down and hone in on this case. And we had a little break. It's not a break for law enforcement. It's a break for us. We've been told, or at least implied at strongly, that we only have one person. Even by Chris Nanos, his most recent statement, he's talking about this being, a male, unidentified males, apostrophe S as a singular person, knowing damn good and well that they have recovered 2 videos. And they have the video from February 1st. So we have 3 videos here that contain at least one of these individuals on it. But we know darn good and well from what we just saw on February 1st that there were multiple people on that property. Definitively. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it at this point. There were multiple people on that property. Is there more than 2? I don't know. It seems like there may be, but we haven't gotten to the third person. We might have evidence of the third person. This might be the third person, because at this time, it appears that there's already somebody standing by the door. Okay? So I think that this might prove that there was a minimum of 3 people on this property, right? 2 in the front, 1 at the car, and we still have to explain why we have a gate and back doors open when all the activity appears to be going on in the front of the house. So now people are talking about how this looked like staging. So I don't know if it's, I would have to think that they were able to prove Tommaso made it back home. Is it possible that this image here is another Mexican gang member or part of this clique that seems to be a Hispanic type of person? If I've looked at this and I didn't see Tommaso before, would I think that this was a Hispanic male? Yeah, I would think that this is a Hispanic male. Tommy could be both a cartel member, drug dealer, and kidnapper. We know very little about him. He could be a made man mafia. This could be over a drug debt. We just don't know his history. What time did Annie take Nancy home? Does anyone know? We know that they arrived at the house, and it wasn't Annie, it was Tommaso, arrived at the house with Nancy, allegedly at 9:48 in the morning, according to the timeline. Let me pull this timeline up. There's the timeline. Oh, so let me go on the different side. Hold on here. I guess we don't need the timeline on this one. The timeline's better suited on this side. So there we go. Oh. So according to the timeline over there, 9:48 arrives at Nancy's house. So 9:48 arrives at Nancy's house, and and by 9:50 the garage door closes. Now we have questions about this garage door, and people are talking about the MyQ app, and they have like this little installation piece that can be added to the garage door. It seems fairly easy to set up. I think people normally could set up. I don't anticipate Miss Guthrie setting up her own MyQ, but I also want to remind you that that might be a way that they know the door went up, and she may have had an app, but I'm not convinced that I feel like that's still an assumption. We don't know definitively whether she had an app or whether her garage door went up by a clicker or not. The reason why this matters is because I truly believe she might have had an actual security system, maybe not the cameras, but and she may not have had a subscription for the security system because it might have been a really old security system in her house. But I kind of believe she still had an old style security system in her house, maybe from the 80s or 90s when she was raising her kids alone. That's when security systems were really being spread across this. And my dad opened a security branch of his electrical business during this era. So I know that this was something that a lot of people were doing to secure their homes. This was this was really advanced technology for our time at the time. I always wondered, is there a possibility? And I think there is a possibility of also having a security system in that house that may not be subscribed to and may not be monitored, but records the opening and closing of the doors and the contacts around the house that they're not using anymore. That could also be why they definitively knew exactly when her garage door went up and when her garage door went down, because garage doors would be part of that security network. So I don't know which it is. It could be the MyQ app. That's a great possibility. But I don't want you guys to forget the possibility of her having maybe an old style security system hardwired inside of her home. And if she does, this might be a break that nobody's talking about. Because if she does have an old style security system that's just not being manned by a security company, that means like if the security system went off, no officers would be coming to your house. You would just have a loud noise going off and a siren going off on your house, but nobody would really be calling law enforcement. Nobody would be really thinking that you're being burglarized or anything like that. There's no system that's reaching out to law enforcement. It's just an old system that still functions. It's just not being reported to somebody that can send help to you. It's not being subscribed to, like her cameras, right? Everybody's been complaining about, like, why didn't she have the subscription for the camera? Well, she had a hardwired security system in the house. Couldn't the same be true for that as well? And if she does have a hardwired security system in the house, what other information does it hold? Does it tell us exactly when the back door was opened? Because there are still people that believe somebody was on this property when she arrived home. And it's possible that it could be. Tommaso came around the back of the house with something in both. We do have that one video that JLR put out that shows Tommaso walking out of the gate from the back of the house into his car, and I believe it was back in April sometime. I don't have it pulled up right now, but I do know we have a copy of it. Pockets of his pants. He had something in the pockets of his pants. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I do remember a bulge in his pants pocket. You're right, I do remember that. So we don't have anything to definitively say anything other than that, but you know, this right here, it could prove to be something. I mean, it's so blurry we can't ascertain that it's Tommaso, but I can tell you this right here is just going to fuel the speculation and the scrutiny around Annie and Tommaso. It really is, because this looks interesting. But you know what? You notice what I do notice about it, though? There is something on the shirt. There appears to be some writing on the shirt. And that looks like street clothes to me. And the reason why I think that's interesting is because the lady was talking about a man in street clothes. crotch watch. PM or AM because she missed church. So I thought she went there that evening. We need to see Ann's text. It goes, we'll never see those texts. Tommaso and a perp. Linda Smith says, Tommaso and a perp. I just know that people in my chat have never gotten away from Annie and Tommaso, no matter how much I haven't really believed that they had any probability or possibility of being involved in this case. But the more we dig, the more we have questions. And then when we see something like this that does seem to resemble Tommaso, it kind of makes us wonder why all of this is being held away from the public. I mean, we're going to find it. Now, who's going to explain it? Are you just going to let this start growing legs and arms and walking and talking all by itself? Or is law enforcement going to address these issues that we clearly see in these videos that they gave to the public to help them with? We're helping. We're seeing 3 different people at this property, and you've been telling us for 6 freaking months that only one assailant's on this property, asking, will this guy strike again? And you're saying, yeah, he probably could strike again. He, not them. Even just recently in the press release, he, the males, singular. Chris, right before this press conference came out, went on this, interview campaign with a bunch of different favored media companies that cater to him and his words and the way he likes being talked about, because God knows you got to treat him. If you say anything mean to him, he's got a little man syndrome, so he wants to 86 you. He wants to show you. He wants to show you. He's got the power to not talk to you. He's got the power to throw you in jail. He's got the power to put you on house arrest and violate your civil rights. He's going to do it all because you don't like him, because he's got a short man syndrome. He's a little man that wears dentures. He can't even take care of his damn teeth. No offense to anybody that has teeth problems, but I'm sorry. Anything I can use to hurt somebody, I will. He's wearing dentures. I think the paste has gotten to his brain and made him paste brain. Paste brain Nanos. I don't know how they were able to clear the family so quickly. That's a good question. How tall is Tommaso? Maybe we need to do some height on this person before this starts getting legs and walking and talking all by itself. This is gonna turn some people's heads. Okay, people that were on Annie and Tommaso's back, this has just emboldened their argument. I'm going to tell you that right now. This has just emboldened their argument because, let's face it, could this be a mean Mexican cartel member? Yeah, it could be. But it sure does look like somebody, does it not? Wow, guys, wow. I don't even know what to make of this. I don't know what to make of this, but let's go through some of the family history. So what we learned is Miss Nancy Guthrie had 3 children. Her husband died mining. He was 49 years old. She was 46 years old. Her beloved son was already in the service, the Air Force, or whatever he was in. I think he was an Air Force pilot. He was already an adult son that had already, went off to the military. So she really was only taking care of Annie and Savannah. Savannah being the youngest, Annie being the older sister. So Cameron's the oldest, then Annie, then Savannah. So that's how the family dynamic is. Well, during this time after her husband died, she needed to make things work. So she ended up moving her mom and her disabled brother into the guest house of their home so she could take care of them and probably, use everybody's resources to keep the family afloat during this very, very difficult time. over the years, you know, Savannah went off. She became an attorney, and then she was picked up by a local TV station, I think, for investigative work, and then was picked up by the Today Show in 2012. She's become one of the highest paid, I think she is the second highest paid morning news anchor in America. I think Robin Robinson is the first place, and she's on Good Morning America. She's I think Robin makes like 25 million a year, and Savannah makes 24 million a year. So they're really competitive. Savannah making just 1 million less than Robin. So we've got competition here. We got the two highest paid, but she is the second highest paid morning news anchor in America. Okay, in America. So she went off to New York. Her brother ended up marrying and building a life in Vermont with his wife, and I believe he had 2 daughters. I could be wrong. And he also bought his 2 daughters homes. So we have, and they went to college and stuff like that. So you're talking about adult daughters now for Cameron. So we have Cameron, we got we got their house and 2 additional properties, which I believe are for both of the girls. And then of course Savannah, her husband, and their 2 children in New York, leaving Annie and Tommaso and their one, I believe it's a son, their only son, in Arizona to be around grandma. And they've been primary hands-on with their mom throughout all of these years that Cameron has been in Vermont and Savannah has been in New York. So they've all pretty much left her to deal with the mom for the last 15 years. And maybe, you know, they just had to move. They had to sell their house and move a little closer to their mother. And we're hearing behind the scenes that there was some animosity over that because animosity, good gracious, animosity over that because it sounded like Annie and Tommaso wanted their mom to maybe live with them. We heard rumors. I don't know if any of what I'm about to say here is even factual or we've ever, found that to be true. I don't know whether it's true or not. I will be honest with you. What I'm about to say might be completely horseshit. I don't know. It's just what we heard. But we heard that they were trying to consolidate the housing, and put them all together so it'd be easier to manage one house instead of 2 houses. But it ultimately was decided that, their mom wanted to live alone. So they ended up moving a little, at least that's my opinion about what happened and why they moved closer to their mother as she started aging. And then within a year of them being only 10 minutes away from their mother is ripped out of her bed in the middle of the night by a masked gunman. And many people believe it's because of Savannah. Many people believe Annie and Tommaso were having financial problems. Many people believe it was because they were tired of taking care of her. I mean, there's a lot of scrutiny and there's a lot of theories surrounding Annie and Tommaso in their involvement in their mother's disappearance. Now, I just want to be very clear. I'm not positioning myself to say that they have done this. I'm not accusing anybody. I really don't know who did what they did. I just know what we're hearing is not true. Everything law enforcement is giving us is not panning out. It seems like they're playing games with the public. We're constantly finding them in deceptive manners. We're finding them all the time deceiving the public. How can you keep deceiving the public and keep begging them to help you? How can we possibly help you when you keep deceiving us? Everything that we're helping you on is a freaking lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. You're never going to get proper public help when they're looking for information based on a lie. And of course, Lazy Days is bringing up the staging, and we're talking about what happened. So Annie and Tommaso were the last ones. Annie, Tommaso, and their son were the last ones to see Nancy Guthrie again. Okay, any third party outside of these masked assailants that we see on the outside of her house. And I'm going to say assailants. I think now I'm not going to sit here and PC this case. We now definitively know that there was at least one other person. We're working on a third person. We're working on identifying that there's a third person on this property. But right now we have identified at least a minimum of two people on this property. This might be the third. This might be the third. We knew about the car first, and that was one of the first things that really pissed us off, is that we could clearly see a car behind this assailant, yet they kept willfully and intentionally forbidding us to know what kind of car was used. So if we knew that there were several people and we knew what type of car this was used, don't you think that somebody in America would be bringing in more of a legitimate lead if we had those details? Don't you think if we had those details of the car and the fact that we have 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 assailants, if they said the information, we're looking for a car that had 4 assailants in it, don't you think that America would be, okay, well, I know 4 people that hang out together driving this car. I know they do shit like this. Wouldn't that be more of proper leads coming into this department than the crap that they're giving us? And we're finding out every single day that we are being lied to and manipulated by the people that are begging for our help. All of them. Savannah, the Guthrie family, Pima County, the feds. The ransom note. Including the ransom note. We've been deceived by the ransom notes too. We were told the ransom notes have identified what she was wearing that night. That ransom note has never been released to the public. So they gave us bunk ransom notes that they knew were bunk. Once again, they're just trying to use us to find maybe the people that authored them. Nothing that's really going to find the assailants or finding Miss Nancy Guthrie. Just playing games with the whole entire world while they sit here and play patty cake behind the scenes and act like they're doing a good job. The 210 video, the feds altered. They cut it. They split a one video. They ended up cutting critical evidence out of that from the public, and that identified another assailant on the property. They cut that intentionally. Why did they cut that intentionally? They had to have seen that second person. They had to have. If this person is standing by the car, they had to have seen this person. We're talking about the feds. They don't miss a thing. They don't miss a thing. So explain to me why 6 months in, we don't have a car that we physically see behind the assailant. We don't have a direction of a path they left in. We have been told or implied by law enforcement this entire time that we have a singular person. And now we're finding out that we might have at least 3 people on this property at the time of this crime. And we just got the most informed update that we've ever had. And they once again identify a singular person, not multiple people. Not multiple people. So very, very upset about that. It was when he turned around. Remember when we saw where he was looking back and talking to somebody? That was the captured image. We just stopped it yesterday and showed you guys that about how he turned around and spot. Pretty Little Clues just sent me the video, and the video where they took this to see this image right here is when the assailant turned back and looked like he was talking. I know. Looked like he was talking. Truth Seeker Girl, I don't know if I got your email. I'm still working on... I don't think I got your email. Are you sending it to Bullhorn Betty? BULLHORNBETTY @gmail.com? Let me look at my spam. I don't see you in my spam either. I don't have an email from you. I don't have an email from you. Please resend it. I don't have it. I'll go online and find this sweatsuit. Just a second. Hey, Beast. It's nice to see you. Yeah, I don't see it. But what I can tell you is now that now that Pretty Little Clues has sent me a image of, the video. So we just had the image, and she just sent me the video, and the video is the exact. Let me show you the video it's on. Let's go to the feds. I like to go to the feds so you guys know it's legitimate, right? It's this one right here. Let's watch it. This is where it happens at. So he's coming up. I know exactly where it's at now. I know exactly where it's at. Okay, now he goes over to the plants. All right. Let me tell you when it happens. When they got the picture. When they got the picture. Okay, it's right here. See him? Look. Did you see him look back? Watch him look back again. Right there. He's talking to somebody. Turned his whole head. He's looking at somebody, okay? So they captured this image right here of him talking to somebody, and they blew up this area right here. This area right here is where Pretty Little Clues has captured this image of a person right here. Just sent inverted picture of the porch guy. Okay, all right, thank you. It's not coming through. That's the problem. Are you sending it to Bullhorn Betty? Truth Seeker Girl, it's not coming through. It's not coming through. I didn't receive it from you. And I'm going through my spam to see if you went to my spam, and I don't see. Let me look at all emails. I don't have any email from you. Go back and check my email. There must be something not right. You must have misspelled my email somewhere. There's got to be a missing letter or something. I believe you sent me an email, but the email never got to me. So there's something wrong with the email. And I'd like to see what you sent, especially since you sent me $1.99 for me to look at it. I don't have it in my, I don't have it. It's not in my email. It's not in my email. Yeah, here it is right here. True Seeker Girl, there's my email. bullhornbetty@gmail.com. Sometimes, you know, something gets misspelled when you're typing fast, like a letter gets dropped or something. So just go back and make sure that my email is correct. I didn't get it. I haven't gotten an email from you. The only person that sent me an email since this show started is Pretty Little Clues. That's the only emails that I have received since this show has started. I mean, I've received other emails, but it's of Rumble, Laura Loomer, Braden and Journal, Newsbreak, Substack, Newsbreak. I mean, it's those types of things, but it's people that like my article. Thank you. Common Sense, we appreciate you. We appreciate you on our Substack. Thank you, thank you. We got a few new subscribers on Sal. Thank you. I love that. We got new subscribers. But I still haven't received an email from you, love. So as soon as I get it, I'll look at it. But I'm watching my emails. It hasn't come through. So check the email and hopefully we'll get it. Thank you, Truth Seeker. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So there you have it, guys. What do we do? The FBI will only release what they need to. But what they released didn't help. They are fully aware of crowd hanging around at Nancy. They are fully aware of the crowd hanging around Nancy's. But I get that. But what they've given us, it's not going to help them. I mean, how can we help them? Miss Olivia 2026, I wouldn't be surprised if that extra light source was coming from Annie from the inside. We thought that, but we can see the doorknobs. We can see the doorknobs. Let me get over here. Where is that? Is it this one here? No, it's got to be this one. Oh, shoot.
Where it is before he.
Yeah, no, definitely not that one. It's this one. Yeah, you see, you can, even in this one, let me just back it up. This is 50, let's go 57. Maybe right there. You can see, I don't know if you can see this, but right here is the door, the deadbolt. See how it's inset a little bit, and then you got this longer piece right here, that's the doorknob. So you have the deadbolt up here and the doorknob right here. So this right here, where this light source is coming from, the door's closed. Check the email for a clearer picture. Okay. Check the email. Your picture. Okay. I'm not getting your email. I'm not getting your email. Oh no. She's sending me this stuff, but I don't have her email. I don't know where her email's going. I don't know where her email's going. I'm so sorry. I don't have it. Oh, here, hold on. Wait. No, this is disappearance.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it. Just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44. Right.
Okay. Thank you, Lori. I got this.
So here we go.
Hopefully I got it. Hopefully that was you. But if not, I see what you're talking about. Let's see this one. Okay, here's this. Check this out. Let me know what you think. And I just realized, you know what? As a matter of fact, that image that Pretty Little Clues has, I don't think that would be Tommaso. I think it might be more of a gangbanger, because I'm looking at this. Let me show you guys this. I think he might have some reprieve here. I think this might actually be something that might benefit him. Thank you, Dan. So there's Tommaso, and that's a grainy picture from afar. And you know what I notice about him? Is his entire beard is salt and pepper. And you can't get that unless natural. I'm sorry, the salt and pepper stuff, it's hard to do. You can't, unless you're going, we would go to the, if somebody's in the, find out if Tommaso's been to a hairdresser lately, or if they dye his hair, but that looks natural to me. Just to me. And this is going to be interesting because look how white he is here. Look how white he is here. Now look at this. Is it this one? Or is it this one? I think it's this one. That doesn't look like white. I feel like we would have, like, you could see the white standing out. I feel like if it was him, we would see some white around here, some type of reflection of white around here. You know what I'm saying? I'm super busy trying to listen, but you keep making me have to comment. Little Red Bee. Aw. Betty, please check your email. Truth Seeker, I've been checking my email. I can't find what you sent. You're not sent. It's not coming to me. It's not coming to me at all. I've got something from Pretty Little Clues. I got something from Lori. And I got something from Dan. And I've showed everything that I've gotten except Lori's, because Lori's is Pretty Little Clues video. So I think we might have something here that might benefit Tommaso. Yes, this does look like Tommaso. It looks like Tommaso 20 years ago. Tommaso this day and age looks like this. And I would feel like his beard would have stood out like the rest of the white on his clothes and his face. So with this corrupt case, we have to connect the dots with facts and things we can prove by all the coincidences. Yes, they count as evidence too. They do. I think, let's see what Susan says here. Hold on a second. I think when Savannah said in her letter, you may have the key to solve this, I think she was really referring to a key, the front door key. It takes 2 keys, potentially. We had those conversations. I remember somebody said, is it possible that that storm door doesn't have a lock mechanism, that it needs a key on both sides, like a double key deadbolt? You can't open it even from the inside without the key in the deadbolt, which I think is hazardous. I think when you try to secure yourself, but those security things can become a liability in a fire or something else. So I don't know, but yeah, we've heard that those type of doors and that type of deadbolt, it could go both ways. It could be a double key deadbolt, or it could be a knob on the back of it to turn. So everyone has looked alike, sound alike. I know. AZ Sunshine says, in my opinion, Occam's razor, it's so simple in front of us. You know, I live very close, keeping my privacy safe. My opinion has been same from day 2 when I saw the tape come down. Again, in my opinion only. Yeah. His beard is definitely not white in that picture. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And we've seen Tommaso within days of this, and he had that salt and pepper beard, and it just dawned on me when I saw this about how white it looks from a distance. I forgot that. And when we're looking at this, we're looking at somebody that obviously, in my opinion, is much younger, because this is dark. I can definitely make out in this image that we've got, it looks like it's a full mustache and beard. Now, I don't know how long it goes down, or if it's clean cut, like really close, like just normal, or if it's long like Tommaso's is. I can't tell from this image. But what I can tell is that this cannot possibly be Tommaso, because we're seeing the lighter print down here, and we're seeing the very real whiteness around his face. In my opinion, that would be observed right here. We would be able to see some remnants of this beard right here, and this would have been the nail in the coffin for me, for Tommaso. But I actually think that this, even though this from a distance and hazy, this could be, from a distance and hazy, Tommaso. But I think the one thing that gives him reprieve in this photo is that beard would have been shining like the rest of the white on him. So it's not that, whatever he's got on his face, that's dark, either dark brown or dark black. It's not light, it's not peppered, it's not salt and pepper. Yes, it would show up for sure. I think it would. Absolutely. Yeah. My brain is not processing this picture. I see a knight in metal. Knight in metal. I don't. I see a buzz cut, Hispanic looking male. That's what I see. This person is a buzz cut. It's not even, it's like a shaved head. Like, I'm looking at somebody that has a shaved head. We're not even looking at not even Luke Daly's shaved head. Like, this looks like it's got, it looks like it's got a 5 o'clock shadow. Like, it's fairly shaved. Like, it's pretty close to the skin. That's what it looks like to me. I can almost see a hairline, but it looks like it's like razor shaved. Does it not? People say Tommaso has a twin is completely garbage. What else do you want? I've never heard he has a twin. Does he have a twin? Is that just rumor? Is that what you're trying to say? It's just rumor? Because if Tommaso has a twin, where's his twin? And why didn't we know about it? Look at 10 seconds in Devil Guy showing FBI video is split. Are you talking about on the one that you sent me? Hold on, let me move this up. Hold on. Ooh, we got the Italia girl. Okay, I think I got you. I think your stuff finally came in. I think your stuff... Truth Seeker, I think I sent them. Yes. Okay. I think I got, yes. I finally got you. I finally got you. I can see your picture here and I can see your picture here. Yes, we finally got you, Truth Seeker. Woohoo! All right. All right. Yeah. Thank you. We did get it. All right, so let me look at that. So what is the first thing we're looking at? Pretty Little Clues. Okay, let me go over to here. You gave me a video, so you're saying 10 seconds into the video. So let's go 10 seconds in. And your email says, sorry, the bounce back and forth. I can't, it's hard to do all this stuff. I'm going, oh, let me go back to your email or your message here. Take a look at 10 seconds in. Double guys showing FBI video split. I don't know. Are you talking about the video? Let me send the video. Let me download the video real quick. Hold on. Let me download this real quick. Save video. And we'll send it. If this will let me show it, and of course not. All right, let me get this video added here. I think this is the one. I may be totally off. I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Look at 10 seconds in. Double guys showing FBI video is split. Okay, let me go over here and add this media real quick so we can look at it. Give me a second. Where is the video? Is that it? Here's the video. There it is. Okay, so we kind of recognize this is going slow. So we kind of recognize this, and they're saying 10 seconds in. Oh, I see what you're talking about. They split the video mid-video. They took a few seconds. Why did they do that? I see what you're talking about here. You can see it. And it's slowed. You had to slow it down to capture that. How did you guys think to do that? I would have never thought to do that. Look at that. Could that have been a download issue, though? Do you guys know much about video? Pretty Little Clues? Could that have been from the download? You know, because we have, like, you guys have watched me. I get janky internet here, and if it's recorded janky, then when I download it, it's going to be janky. I can't fix janky once it's recorded janky. So, are we sure? Video is split. Yeah, it looks like what it looks like is it almost was professionally or attempted to professionally be split. It looks like they carved some of it out, but the question is why? It didn't seem like anything was very important in this area here. Thank you for this, by the way. These computer people are, I know. They're much smarter. I don't even think to look for shit like this. I don't know. It's the only part that does that. The only part. Wow. And it's right. You know why? Because we have to remember there's still somebody at that door. I bet you that's why. Pretty Little Clues. Because when we first walked up, let's go back to the FBI. It's something I never saw before, but I just happened to pause it right at the right time. And it was pretty shocking. And it's this right here. Hold on. Let's see. It's where he's looking when he walks up to this door. Right there. Look. Look at where his eyes are. His eyes are looking directly at someone. This is the same direction that unknown light source comes from. So he's looking over here. So there's one person over here. He's going back over here. We've got this image right here from Pretty Little Clues that shows somebody sitting around the car in the back. So now this has really given us the of what oh good gracious, what Keith said a long time ago. You know, oh, you can't even see. I was moving a room. I forgot I had these things up. It's moving all over. Probably didn't see it. So we have him here. This is the only place according to Pretty Little Clues, this is the only place that has, let me stop this, that has this splitting of them when they slow it down. And this is also, again, as he's walking up, which we now believe the person is saying, there's another person at that front door just outside of the camera's view. And now we have evidence that there may be somebody out there at the car. And it comes back to Keith's analysis of this case at the beginning, and we didn't have evidence of it. I couldn't run with the story because I've got to have something to go on. I mean, we're just not a speculation channel. We're not. We really, truly are a true crime channel that bases our opinions on facts. And if we don't have the facts and our opinions are based on speculation, well, then all of our theories are based on speculation on top of speculation on top of speculation. And that's how we get, the alien came down from Mother Ship and beamed you up to Scotty, okay? That's how we get those things. That's how we get the things where we have, ninjas breaking into houses without any evidence of ninjas breaking into houses and ripping people out. You see what I'm saying? So we have to have, I get what they're saying, and that's why when I open the phones up, I let people just talk and get their theories out, because their theories may hold water down the road. But at the time Keith was saying it, we had nothing physically to support it. But now we're finding little by slow things that are supporting that mythology. And I'm starting to go back to Keith's mythology because he was always talking about this being a ring. He was always talking about, two in the, at minimum of 3 people, one in the front, one in the back, one in the driver's seat, right? Well, we have somebody over at the car and we have 2 people at the front door. Where's the person in the back? And why do we have 2 people in the front of the house but not in the back? But yet the back of the house is where the flower pots are. And people have already stated from the very beginning they believe this was staged. Okay, so now let me get on to you, Truth Seeker. Let's see what we can find out from you. Let me go ahead and take this off here so we can analyze some things here. Thank you for checking that email. I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, she's trying to send me something. I can't say it. Okay, so we're starting to see some things here. Let me see what this one is up here. All right, and this is this. Okay, I think we'll go with the first ones here. Let me get these down. Okay, there's one. Let me get the other one. So this is where they're looking at, and I think that this is where that third person that Pretty Little Clues has, found this guy here. So let's go ahead and pull these up. So we have this that's pointing to an area that you can't really see, and then when we go over to the next frame, you see there is something kind of highlighted back there. Is that the car or is that the individual? This kind of tells you where this is going on. And this again is where Pretty Little Clues is identifying an individual out there. So I think this might be that big print. And again, don't you think analyzing this and finding out what the print on that shirt is and having these people and saying they were in this car, there was XY, there was 3 guys, one guy was wearing this, another guy was wearing a shirt with this, and then we have a third guy with this. Don't you think that would be more information for us to go out and help law enforcement find these people or get this information out in front of somebody that can say, oh my gosh, I was thinking it was them, but it is definitely them. Like, do. They're not doing any of that, folks. They're not doing any of that. Okay? We're sitting here playing a freaking patty cake game with law enforcement when they're asking us for help when they can't solve a case. They're not solving this case. They need the public's help, yet they keep lying to us and deceiving us. How are we supposed to help? first time in the world, I'm going to say this. I don't care for the Phoenix FBI. They're fucking idiots. Excuse my language. $4.99, please. $4.99, please. I'm sorry. I got to watch my language. I'm sorry. I probably need to be paying this instead of you guys. Maybe that would be a little more corrective. Oops. Did I put my address? I did. But everybody knows my address, so I guess it's okay. I'm done, son. I'm done, son. So I think we're getting somewhere in these videos. Let's keep moving the needle. Let's keep moving the needle. What we have found over the last week is that we have somebody at the front door, somebody other than the porch guy. Now, what we're having now, what a new revelation is it appears we have somebody standing at a vehicle. Okay? So now we're starting to make some headway with these videos. We've had our people on the internet that are good with this stuff have just as much time as law enforcement has had to analyze this stuff. So, with that being said, we're starting to get somewhere with these videos and images on these platforms. They're starting to paint a picture. We already know that this was premeditated. Whatever this was premeditated. Now we're identifying that there's multiple people here, and law enforcement should have and did. I'm not going to say should have and could have known. We know that for a fact that law enforcement knows damn good and well for the last 6 months there were multiple people at this property. They knew that. They knew that. They deceived us, they lied to us, and then they want us, and they wonder why we're so angry with them. Quit lying to the public that you serve. If you don't, you know what? Lying about things to pull somebody in, to shake a tree like Isabel Johnson, to look left, make people think they're looking left and look to go catch them right. Something like that, a play on that. We know law enforcement does some types of stuff like that. But you're talking about 6 months of deception with this case. 6 months of full-on deception about this case. About what happened, about how many people were involved, about the possibilities of motive, means, and opportunity. Our law enforcement bodies have deceived every single one of us. And we're not just talking about Pima County Sheriff either. We're talking about the FBI Phoenix branch. They have willfully sat here and manipulated this case and deceived the public to the point that we are 6 months into this case and we have no blessed leads or identified people. We have no car or route that they left. Now we have a vehicle we see. We have at least 3 people on this scene. What the hell is going on here in the Nancy Guthrie case? Where is Nancy Guthrie, and who in the world did this to this poor lady? Enough's enough. We need to start demanding answers. We got a bunch of people out there. I think you guys need to go get your picket signs. I think you guys need to start campaigning. I think you guys need to pull resources out there in Arizona and start screaming at Chris Nanos. What in the hell is going on in this case? Because we just found some bombshell information over the last several days that has been willfully kept from the public. That could have helped lead to the assailant months ago. Months ago. I'm angry. I'm angry for the family. I'm angry for the community that's had to undergo all of this mess because of the incompetence of your FBI and your sheriff's department. Yeah, we got him pulled up. We got him pulled up right here. Got him pulled up. Got him pulled up right there. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Yes, we got it. Just pull this in a little bit closer so you guys can see that. I keep wondering, is this the writing on the shirt that we're seeing from a distance? The guy's shirt right there. They deceived us this whole entire time. And we've been trying to find, and we felt it, but up until we've analyzed this unknown light source, that's the first real indicator we have had on this show or in the true crime genre definitively identifying a secondary assailant. And I think that the information that Pretty Little Clues and Rhythm and Clues had provided to us, I think is pretty stellar information here. I think we're making some headway. At the end of the day, guys, these are the facts of the case as we see them on this show. Miss Nancy Guthrie was targeted. This is a premeditated attack. There were multiple people, and there was a vehicle in the driveway that we could clearly see. And law enforcement has failed to acknowledge any of this and went out of their way to deceive every single one of us about what we've actually seen going on at this case. And they haven't controlled this case. They have tried to run a narrative on this case. That's what they have done. They haven't tried to investigate. They've tried to run a narrative. And I think that we can all agree that we're sick and tired of this narrative. We want the truth. We want to know what happened to Nancy. And more importantly, we want the freaking information so we can help find the SOBs that did this to this lady. But stop with the madness. This is not a singular perpetrator attack, which is what we've been led to believe. This is a multi-perpetrator attack, and law enforcement has known this since February 10th. And they have deceived the public. I think they know, and they're getting information for arrest, by the way. Or to be, what is it? TBH. What does that mean? Why is my brain not working? Or cover up. That's it. What else could it be? I don't think they're close to an arrest. I just don't believe it. All of every resource out there, every source that media has, social media has, they're all indicating nothing positive. They wasted their time on the stupid frickin' ransom letter. They're literally going back to square one and starting all over again. Like I said, the DNA results have been abysmal. They nonchalantly brushed them off, but people didn't realize how important that hair was. That hair was our last opportunity at real DNA from inside that house. Because the mixture of 4 or less is going to be next to impossible to extract. It's going to be next to impossible to extract, folks. It's going to take years. So all the DNA from in the house it just fell. The glove doesn't come back to anybody. It goes to a restaurant worker. The hair is no DNA, inconclusive. And we have a mixture that's never going to be unmixtured. So our DNA's toast. Our DNA's toast. So they pissed all this time away, focusing on these stupid ransom notes, and we have multiple assailants on this property when we've been looking for a single assailant with no car. With no car and no way of leaving the community. It doesn't make sense, does it? No, of course it doesn't. Why? Because law enforcement has lied and deceived us. I am going to own that, and I'm going to stand on my hill. If I have to die on this hill alone, they have deceived the public intentionally and willfully. And to the detriment of their own case. They've obstructed their own blessed case. Once again, we've got another law enforcement body that obstructs their own case. Because having one assailant versus 3 assailant makes a difference. Having an SUV or a car and them fleeing one way, it makes a difference. It tells us who they are, it tells us which direction they're going, and it helps family members and friends of these people know that it's them so they know to call in. Because if somebody's a friend and they think it might be them, they ain't calling in. However, if they know it's them, they might pick up the phone. Law enforcement has intentionally and willfully fucked this case. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Chris Nanos, prove me wrong. I'd love for you to prove me wrong. Prove me wrong that you did not tank this case willfully and intentionally. Prove me wrong. All over a pissing contest with the FBI. Prove me wrong. He won't be able to. We've been lied to. We've been deceived. There's multiple people. We have a car. They refuse to give us a car. And guess what? We might even have their escape route. All provided to us by the courtesy of social media, not the people investigating this case. And you know what this does? All this does is put distrust in the public's eyes with law enforcement. That's all it does. That's all it does. All it does is make us never trust law enforcement. Law enforcement keeps coming out here and telling us we want social media to tell their audience what we tell them to tell our audience. We will never, ever do that when we can't trust you. Because at the end of the day, we owe our audience the truth because those are the platforms we built. We didn't build a mainstream media platform that runs narratives and is bought and paid for by their local government. We built platforms based on truth and transparency. And what we're sick and tired of is being lied to. If you want us to play ball, treat us with courtesy, respect, and some frickin' dignity. Because we're running laps around you. We just caught the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff in lies for 6 months. Trust me, the public's pissed. The public's angry. The public is fatigued and wants this case resolved. That's what the public wants. The community out there, they want their life back. That's what they want. They want their life back. And nobody is getting what they want because the games that law enforcement is playing with these cases. It's a game to them. This is why we do not hire criminals to run a sheriff's department. Exactly why. So guys, I hope you support people out there. I pray to God that the boys put something together, and I hope that they bring a lot of people together. I want picket signs. I want people out there screaming at the law enforcement. I want to see people tired, sick and tired with the status quo. I want to see maximum pressure. I want to see pipes breaking. I want the pressure breaking pipes out there. Because Chris Nanos, even the freaking FBI, quit lying to us. Quit lying to us. Oh, walking up. Okay. I'm not sure if that's a shadow or not. I'm not convinced that that's not a shadow on that one. The second porch guy where you blow it up where he's walking in. I'm not sure about that. I'll have to send that, but it might be. The only problem with this, and I agree with it, is one, that it doesn't have the white seams. They have white seams on the side, and it's missing the star. So we found another very important clue about the jacket that's been worn by this assailant. And this clue came from Monk's Intrigue. Let me find out if I can find it. There it is. You can't see it, but there's a star right here. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. So under that, there is some type of stitching on the left breastplate. So there is some type of stitching on the left breastplate. Is that left? That would be left. Yeah, the left breastplate. So right there. We don't know what that is. And you can see the white stitching. See the white? We got a white or gray. But you're getting closer. You're getting closer. But there are some minor details that are missing. And it's this detail right here and this detail right here. So we're getting closer, where it's not a star, it's a clip. That's a clip from the backpack. You might be right. You might be right. You know what? I think it'll be on the one where we can see further back. Let's see what we got here. I don't know. That clip is there. There's nothing hanging out past that. And so it's right under this strap. It's when he leans over to pick up the foliage that the jacket ruffles, and it gives that. There's nothing hanging off this. This clip is not hanging outward. Here is a perfect shot of that clip. But the star, when he moves, it's right under this strap. There's something stitched. I don't know if it's a star or something, but there's something stitched in this fleece under this strap right here. And it's not observed right here, but it is observed when he moves again. Let's let him go back to, and it's after he leans down and picks up foliage over here. When he comes back to this one, and we start observing the star on his jacket. There's the light. We don't see anything else, so maybe it's in the photos, because I remember it was in the photos. It's in the photos right here. There it is. See? And this was really close. I don't see this being a clip. I don't see that being a clip. I don't know what that is. It looks like it was up under the strap, and then when he leaned down to get the foliage, it adjusted the shirt under it, and it poked out. It's not a star. It's not on the jacket. The clip is tucked under the strap until he bent over. Okay, so it is a clip. And are you guys positive about that? Not a star. We got a lot of people saying it's not a star, so I have to trust that. Okay, so if it becomes something else, I mean, that's what Monk's Intrigue said. I saw it. I went and checked it. Obviously, we see it right here, and people are saying that it's not it. But even we got to look for fleeces that have this white stripe down it. Not just this band that goes across it, but the white stripe on both sides of the zipper, right? That's but I haven't found one that has this line going across it and the white zippers going down. But for whatever reason, I feel like it's going to be a Walmart jacket. Why? Because we've got a backpack from Walmart and a gun holster from Walmart. What's the chances? And we found the mask. The mask looks like it's from Walmart. So what are the chances of the holster coming from Walmart, the backpack coming from Walmart, and the ski mask coming from Walmart, but not the jacket? It seems like he went out, specifically bought fresh clothes just for this job. That's what it looks like to me. That's what it looks like to me. The only thing that looks used on his person is his shoes. Everything else looks brand new. Everything else looks brand new on his person except his shoes. Just my thought. Yeah, I know. I'm saying it's not a star. Yeah, I know. I'm saying it's not a star. Does anyone know if M is doing a lot of members only show? I'm a poor lady. M. Who's M? A poor lady. As much as I want to be a member, even BHB, I can't afford. Well, we don't do member. We do very little member shows. I put some videos over in members only. We are going to start to do a members only live, and we're going to do it once a week. And it's just it's not gonna, I mean, it could be true crime, but I think I'm gonna adopt kind of what Miss Ashley Banfield is doing and just have it like a girls' night or a guys' night, just something for Q&A. You know, people always curious about who you are as a person, what you like, what you don't like, you know, stuff about the cases, you know, places of searching, you know, just like a Q&A, maybe like a little insight about who I am or what I do or how I do it. You know, that would be a great time to ask those questions. We've had members here that have been supporting us literally for years. And I think now's a good time to at least once a week throw out a members only live. It might be Friday night or Saturday night or something like that, where everybody's kind of together. And we can have, you know, yes, a Q&A, love those. Yes, I think those would be really fun. So, I think we'll do some members only coming out. We'll do at least, you know, maybe we'll do like once, well, maybe we'll try it out like once every 2 weeks, see how it works out. And if we can get a good spot for it that everybody can really participate in, maybe we'll start doing it more regularly, like once a week. And then if we have enough support, maybe we'll do, you know, a few days a week if it becomes fun and we get some stuff done. Walmart disregard clearance items in dumpsters or donates them. A employee could have taken them home instead of putting them in a dumpster. I agree with that. The stuff that they do, like even in the meat house, the meat packing house, not the meat house, like your steak houses. Do you guys like realize how much scrap meat that they have, that they pull off those steaks to make those steaks so perfect for you at those steak houses? They have like a lot of stuff that could be brought down to like gravies and stuff, fresh meat, fresh good quality cut steaks that they in some of this stuff that they cut off, that it's good steak meat, it's good stew meat. I mean, they have a lot. If an employee is caught taking any of that out, they're fired. They would rather it go into the garbage than be cooked. You know, and I'm pretty sure there are probably some employees there, but you know what, once you start allowing them to take those scraps, then people start taking actual steaks, right? Once you start having the policy of, well, you can take just the scrap meat, well, then they're going to start throwing an extra, you know, ribeye in there, or an extra, you know, people are just people. And no matter what you do, humans are going to act like humans. But still, I still think that employees are so much better to give that stuff to than a garbage can, period. My adopted sissy loves you. Your adopted brother, Travis House. Aw. I understood her mom passed away, I thought. Whose mom? We could grab our red Solo cups and talk. I had a red Solo cup out at the beach house. I have a redneck wine glass. It is a red Solo cup on a stem, a wine stem. All right, guys, I think that's really all we have for this show. Our main core objective was to show the audience that it looks like law enforcement knew multiple people were here at this house at least by February 10th. Did I provide a compelling argument that law enforcement has been deceptive? Do you guys believe law enforcement has been deceptive about how many people have been on this property? If you believe law enforcement has been deceptive to the public about how many people have been on this property, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe that this is just, you know, part of business, which, you know, it could be both ways. I mean, we do have a strong true crime community here. So if you believe that they've been deceptive about this stuff, and they shouldn't have been deceptive, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe that they should have done this, put a 2 in the chat. I want to gauge my audience. You too. Yeah, I think the show was very compelling. I do. I really do. I mean, because when I start getting into the research, whenever I realize I have a topic of discussion, I never know what the research is going to take. You know, we just do the research. So I have a topic, and now I'm going to research this topic. And, you know, obviously there's been some developments with this light source that we are now, you know, looking into, this unknown light source. Clearly there's another person here. I believe in the laws of physics, gravity, and you know, I even though I believe there's a lot of stuff in that big black nothing that goes on the outside of this earth, we haven't been proven beyond a reasonable doubt that we have ghosts, or that ghosts work upon command of a human being. So until that day happens, then that light source came from an individual, a human being, another person, because this man only has 2 arms and 2 legs, just like the rest of us human beings have. So for there to be an octopus going on here, where we have another arm just kind of waving, hey, and it doesn't have this guy's 2 arms are visible to us. Well, where did that other arm come from? Obviously, it's coming from somebody. So now we officially have 2 people, and then of course, and in all fairness, I just want to say this: Pretty Little Clues gave me that image a long time ago. I just didn't know what I was looking at or what video, and I couldn't replicate it. So I didn't roll with it. But now that we see where it comes from, I decided to go ahead and put it up, but I'm still going to try to replicate it to make sure that their work is the same as the work I can do, just to make sure that there isn't any funny business, right? That it's not about that we don't believe anybody. Don't ever think that, Pretty Little Clues. It's just all about validating the information, and that is our responsibility as content creators. And if I sent you something, I would expect you to do the same thing for me, because no matter what, we try to hold ourselves at a high standard, but at the end of the day, we need to make sure that the information is correct. And what if an honest mistake was made, right? I sent you something, I made a mistake on it, and you caught the mistake and you were able to run with it. So that's why we have to you know, make sure that everything is sourced and followed. So that's just all there is to it. So that's why I didn't have time to do it. That's why I never ran with it. But now that I look at it, now that I see where that is coming from, I see the possibility here. Now that I'm entertaining that there really is because we now have factual information, there was a second person at that front door. Let me ask you this. Let me do this. Threes and fours. How many of you guys believe that we have 2 people at that front door? 3, that we have 2 people at that front door. 4, we do not have a secondary person at that front door. How many people believe that there's another person at that front door? Put 3s and 4s. 3s, yes. 4, no. 3, yes. 4, no. Yes, you believe there was 2 people at the front door, or 4, no, you do not believe there was 2 people at the front door. Now, why did they remove the media now? I know. Agreed. Lazy days. Agreed. Circle head. Very interesting. Thank you, Sleuth Fairy. I'm a 3. I am a 3. All right, guys. Well, I just want to tell you, you guys have been amazing today. We went through a lot of stuff. I thought like an hour ago we were ready to shut down the show, and we've still been yapping. We've been yapping. But it was a great conversation. It was great research. Thank you all that participated, that helped us really dig into this aspect of the case. And yes, I got you, Truth Seeker. I'm going to blow those images up. On my end, they weren't as big as what they needed to be. So I'll do some work on that and get those cleared up so we can get them up, you know, much bigger, like we got this guy right here. Yours was like really small. So I'll figure it out. I'll get it cleaned up, and then we'll get it pulled up. So I appreciate Truth Seeker. Thank you so much for getting that stuff to me. Dylan, like, I know we were having some problems getting it, but I really do appreciate you finally breaking through that barrier and getting them over to me. I didn't know what was going on. I just knew I wasn't getting them. So everybody that sent me emails this morning, thank you guys. Everybody that donated to our cause, don't forget, we are raising money for legal expenses for Tennessee. We're in the process of raising $5,000. I think we're almost down to $4,000 at this point, because we did have money come through the chat. We had money come through the Cash Apps. I honestly believe we've gotten $1,000 so far. I think we're, even though the give, send, go thing is wrong, I think we're right there at 25% of our goal in total. So guys, just congratulations. Thank you guys so much for all that you guys are doing to help this channel, help me. You know, this is good. So we'll continue. I'm kind of really happy that we're moving this along, that we're finally getting somewhere with this case, at least on a true crime community aspect of it. We've been kind of waffling because we didn't have facts, right? And now that we're starting to get the facts, I mean, we've had facts. It's just hard to pull the facts because we're being pulled in 18 different directions when it comes to this case, and just getting us all kind of focused on core issues has been hard. And there's a lot of stuff that I don't know how to do, you know, like even this the images I have, you know, I'm learning and stuff like that, and I can, you know, recreate some things when I see them, but I don't have that I don't have time to be that analytical, because I'm constantly researching information and preparing for shows, doing all that finite research, you know, doing the stuff we were doing on here, you know, stopping and going, and looking frame by frame by frame by frame. I don't have that time to do it. I mean, occasionally when we have a case, and it is, and I have to have time. I have to force myself to find time to go frame by frame, because we have so much information. We need to get above that information. We need to have something that's new and fresh for that case to get it going. Then we'll start doing frame by frame. But sometimes it's very hard to try to research all the information, plus do the technical research stuff as well. So when things come out like this, I eat it up, and we can really digest it and start analyzing it. And this has really kind of broke that ice for me in getting us to that second person. We knew that there was a possibility, a real strong possibility of the second person being there, but without definitively finding that person and making it a fact, it's always going to be an assumption. And I don't like assumptions when we should have facts. Now, there are some things we have no choice but to you know, assume, just to try to get us moving in a direction for leads and other things. But this one we've been sitting on for a while, you know, gnawing at it, preparing and discussing two alternate theories, because we didn't know which way to go, because we were being deceived by law enforcement. Now we know definitively there's at minimum, in my estimation, at least 3 people on this scene at this point. At least 3. So we're here. We finally made it here, factually. Okay, we've been here already. We've already been in the area of multiple people. We've already been discussing multiple people for 6 months, but it was still on a speculative level. We are here factually. We are here factually. So I do believe now we have 3 people. Now we have to start working on where they are, what they're doing, and we still have to explain why the back is open when everybody seems to be around the front. Because I just asked you guys, who believes that there's a second person at the door? The majority of us believed that we had a secondary person at the door. We did have a couple people that believed that there wasn't a second person there. So I didn't convince a couple of people, but I think the overall presentation was convincing. It was convincing to me. Again, when I get these talking points like, okay, we now know that there's a second person here. How long have they known? And then we go back to the evidence, and the first telltale sign that law enforcement knew about this secondary person is by their clipping of the videos that they put on their FBI website. That was that was when you see right where it's cut, you know they intentionally cut that video right there. You know. Why did they cut that video right there? We don't know the answer to that, but they cut that video right there. And I think it's because if they didn't, we would have seen evidence of a secondary person. We would have seen evidence of a secondary person. Guys, they fouled this case all up. They fouled this case all up. I don't know what they were thinking, but clearly they weren't listening. They weren't listening to the case. They weren't listening to the facts. They weren't listening to the evidence. And they weren't trying to really ask the people for help. I think that they've only been distracting us this whole time. I don't even know what to believe in this case. And this is bad because how do you expect us to believe the next law enforcement body or the next FBI agent that tells us something? When every time we turn around, we're being lied to and manipulated. This is not how we're going to work together. This is why law enforcement is getting exactly what they get from social media every time we get involved in a case. You did it to yourself, and you know what? Just like the people of Manatee County that's going to have to deal with their the mess that they caused, I'm stepping down. I've worked a decade in this town, and if people want the direction of this county, by God, maybe you guys need to sit with your decision for a while. And I'm happy to allow people to sit with their decision, because when they are ready to cry because of all this, or not only that, but when their children start getting killed on the roads and they're scratching their head, I'm going to remind them, don't forget, you voted for this. As heartless as that's going to be, you voted for this. Let's not forget. You knew what you were getting, and you voted for this. You told them that you want more building. You want more traffic jams. You want more flooding. We gave you an opportunity to change all that for you, but you guys were too stupid to take the opportunity. So now it's time for you to sit with your decision. And you guys know I'm all about lessons. So I'm going to let Manatee County, and I'm already working with my activists right now for everybody to stand down and let the Manatee County deal with Manatee County's decision. They're going to have to deal with it. We have entirely too many activists here that have been really keeping things at bay. And I think we need to let Girls Gone Wild in this county and let everybody just suffer immensely. Financially, death-wise, whatever goes. I'm done. They need to realize they had a decision to make. They made a terrible decision. And I think that we all, as activists, needs to sometimes as activists, sitting on the sidelines exactly where you need to be for a while. And I've been doing this long enough that I know strategy. And when I have a whole community, even my community is too stupid for themselves, then I'm going to let them sit in their stupidity. And I'm going to criticize them all the way. And I'm going to be right there and say, I told you so. I'm one of them. I'm just this short from being a Karen. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Show. We believe in accountability. We believe in accountability over here. And sometimes I just got to let my own community be accountable. So I think it's time. I think we need to shovel more building down everybody's throat. I think we need to pack our streets till nobody can move. I think we just need to get in here and give them exactly what they voted for. And I'm all about it because I'm leaving here in 2 years. So I'm ready to throw the baby out with the bathwater at this point. I really am. So we'll see what strategies I come up with, but you guys know when I get to this point, there's going to be hell to pay with some people. There just is. And I think the hell to pay is just, silence. Silence is an answer too. We have shirts. That is the motto of the Bullhorn Betty channel. Silence is an answer too. And sometimes we just have to be silent. And I think that's going to be the best strategy for Manatee County. I think every single activist in Manatee County needs to be benched. I think we all need to bench ourselves and let this county deal with the decisions they chose to make. And I think they're going to get a clue, just like everybody else has, but I think it's time for them to simmer in the decisions that they made. People, pull your heads out of your asses. Okay? Let me just tell you something. If you're going to the ballots this year, you see this in your mailbox, these are all your special interest people. These are the establishment. These are the people that are ruining your life. Every last one of these people are ruining your life. Okay? So if you guys are voting by the people that are putting stuff in your mailbox, you're part of the problem in this country. If you pull out this person and say, oh, this see you next Tuesday. She's my and I'm going to call her that. I'd love to say it on this platform just like that. I hate this lady. I despise her. So you got this, you got her here, but she's bought and paid for. She's causing all the terrible problems we're having right now in District 2. She's the cause of it, right here. And they just voted her to be back in. Just voted for her to be back in. This lady right here that has caused nothing but financial chaos in Manatee County. They just voted to keep her in office, as opposed to having a 22-year-old man that knew exactly what he was going to do and how to get it done. They put her back in office. This lady right here that's cost us millions of dollars. Okay? She is bought and paid for by developers. Bought and paid for. Do you think she has my interest? This is a low district. Like, this is a low income district. This is like, we have more low income people in this district than any other district in Manatee. We have some really high performing. We do have some lofty people in this district, but this is by far along District 2 and District 4 in this county are by far the poorer districts of the county. And do you think developers really give a shit about the poor people in this county? Do you think they give a shit? So if you are voting this way, whoever sends you this, you are part of the problem. These people are destroying our country. These people. So if you're getting these in your mail, collect them. Take them to the voting booth with you and vote against them. Vote against them. Guys, for the first time this year, I will be voting and casting my ballot for a Democrat in 2 separate elections. Because I refuse, absolutely refuse, to put my circle for a Republican. Okay? I am a conservative. A D and an R does not matter. But the Republican Party has always had my morals front and center. But when I see more coming out of my Democrat Party than my Republican Party locally, well, I'm going to start supporting some of those candidates. I will not vote for Amanda Ballard. I am putting my vote for Charles Smith. He is going to be the Democrat runner for my district, and I'm going to be putting my ballot in November for a Democrat. I refuse to have a corrupt piece of shit running my community. And that's what I feel like we're dealing with. So anyways, guys, thank you for allowing me to bend your ear. Please, if you're going out to the ballot box, take your flyers that you're getting in the mail with you, and please do not vote for these people. Okay, these people here that are sending you all this stuff, they are unwilling to go out and work a sweat to come shake your hand. They're being bought and paid for. This nasty bullshit here worked in Manatee County. This pound of paper, almost 2 pounds of paper I'm holding in my hands, worked in Manatee County. We need election integrity in this country. We have got to get election integrity. Anybody that's anti-election integrity, you want to cheat. Period. Prove me wrong. So guys, go out and fight. Keep it real. We love you. We honor you. We respect you. And we want the best we can get from this country. So please get out and vote. Do not be Manatee County. Make a difference out there in this brutal world. Make a difference. Make your election and your poll count. Make sure your ballot counts. So just go out there, vote. Be a part of the part of the solution, not part of the problem. All right, I'm done. Have a great day. We may be back. Oh, we are going to be back later tonight. Breaking news. We're going to be breaking down Sebastian Rogers' case. I know there's going to be a lot of other people that are probably going to be breaking it down, but we want to talk. We want to talk about this case. Nobody has researched this case more than I have researched the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. I have researched it so much that law enforcement wanted me out. They wanted to arrest me. They conspired with Chris and Katie Proudfoot, allegedly, in my opinion, and I'm suing them for that, to have me arrested and thrown in jail to silence me. And again, we are in court. We are having fundraisers right now for $5,000 of those proceeds. I think we're down to about closer to $4,000. So I'm very pleased. Like in 1 week, we got $1,000 right off the rip. I'm happy. If we can do that, we will have this paid up and lickety split. We'll be good to go. So you guys rock. I don't know what else to say other than you guys rock. So thank you guys. Thank you. We will keep working on getting us through this hump, and we will get to the other side of this. And I truly believe, again, this would never have been possible because I only had about 60% of our total cost for this, and 60% would have never been enough. If I didn't have the coffee club here helping me through this, we would have been, this would have been very, very, very painful. This would have been very costly for me personally for the show. I mean, they were trying to come after my freedom. They robbed me of a lot over the last 2 years. And again, if it wasn't for my channel, even the boys out there in Tucson, you know, without you guys, they would have been fucked. Excuse my language on a Wednesday, but they would have been. And it, you know, that this is the kind of crap that our politicians, the people that work for us, put us in order to control us. And you guys give us a tool that allows us to fight back and not be victims of corrupt, you know, government. Without you guys, none of us would be able to do the work that we do. And I don't think you guys understand how reliant on us, or reliant on you we are when it comes to these things. The crowdfunding is an immense part of what we do here. We are not mainstream media. We do not have deep pockets. We do not have millions and billions of dollars sitting in an account somewhere to take on the world. It's just us and you. That's it. And you know what? That's been enough. We've been able to, and not just me, other content creators have been able to really make a difference because of the support of each of you. And I just want you guys to know how important, you know, you guys are to me and you guys are to the true crime community. So thank you guys. You guys have a great day. We'll be back later this afternoon doing some Sebastian Army stuff. So come on back. We'll try to get it done. If for any reason, just, we know that Seth is going on, the interview room tonight, so if I get sidetracked in research and other things that I got to do today and I don't get my live done before Chris McDonough's show, we'll probably do it tomorrow morning. Okay, just to give you guys a little update, just in case I lose track of some time today. But I'm gonna push like around 4ish if I can to do a live about Sebastian. So leading into the interview room, somewhere around there, if I can. But there's no promises today. So we'll see one more larger picture. Okay, hold on one second. Let me just, before we go, guys, before we go, oh, and thank you, by the way, Truth Seeker, for the information. Yeah, I see it. I see what we're seeing, or what you're seeing and what you're pointing to. I'm just not sure if that is a shadow or not. That truly might be a shadow. It's convincing, but it still might be a shadow. I've got to look into that just a little bit more. I just noticed this while watching your live on 8/18. I had noticed earlier but forgot until then. P.S. Head shape and mask also appears to be slightly different to my eyes as well. There's got to be a lot of work that needs to be done to these images. There's just got to be a lot of work. Thank you, Christy. We appreciate you. There's just got to be a lot of work. Let me make sure I hit all the stuff that I needed to hit today. I had bullet points here. So we got history, family, timeline, newly understood information, 210 video, the cut of the video. They had to have seen the second person. But have they been acting or advising one suspect? Oh, that's right. And Chris Nanos, even up to the most recent, I forgot about this, and this is another thing that upsets me, is that Chris Nanos, even up as the earliest press conference, the news release that we just read, as well as the interviews that came right before that 6-month media release, he was doing a campaign with all these different media things, basically saying this is one subject, that we only have one subject, that we're only seeing one subject. He was implying one subject even as recently as the end of July and beginning of August. Chris Nanos. Because I even said, you guys heard me, if you guys have been watching me, you guys remember, I said, see, even Chris Nanos is stating that he believes it's just one person. And I remember saying that because there's very little that I talk about Chris Nanos in any type of positive light any type of positive light. So, all right, guys, I've got to run. The neighbor's calling. So you guys have a great day. We'll see you later this afternoon. And rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, kind to one another. God bless.